we'll get into it. So I thought today would be fun. Like, there's a few things that I had sort of planned for today's stream. And the first thing is... I had sort of planned for today's stream. So I guess we're live. Yeah, the first thing is... Double hear ourselves. There. Sorry about that. The first thing is Ulduar. I thought Ulduar would be a lot of fun just because... one sec. I'm just going to open up chat, make sure I don't miss anything. Because it's a really fun raid. I don't know if we've done it on stream before. I think we did Black Temple on stream. But Ulduar is a really cool raid. It's got really unique mechanics. I honestly think it's not even one of my favorite raids, because I'm not a big fan of the mechanics. But as far as like pound for pound goes, quality or creativity goes, I think Ulduar is probably one of the best raids they've ever designed. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's not like well crafted. And I think Ulduar has the right mix of unique fights, fascinating like story. The size of the raid also feels epic. It's a lot of factors, I guess, that makes it feel real special. Because at the same time, like, I think Karazhan is also one of the best raids that WoW has ever created. And Karazhan is like sort of, in a sense, the opposite of what Ulduar is, as far as size and time it takes to do it, and difficulty and mechanics. But for their own reasons, like, Karazhan feels like very well encapsulated. It's quick, get in and out. It's a good introductory raid for Burning Crusade. I think it's the first one you do, I would imagine. I imagine you do Karazhan before you do anything else. But Ulduar feels more like, and of course it's an expansion later, but it feels like, I think Lich King came after Ulduar, but before Ulduar, everything else felt like training wheels raiding. And Ulduar felt like the first time, at least in that expansion, that like you take the training wheels off and you're really like seeing if you have what it takes to do some of these mechanics. It was just really cool. But I'm excited to do it. Let's get into it. I just want to make sure, I was just setting up YouTube and stuff to make sure everything was correct and okay, but it looks like we're good to go. I'll turn on the sound. I don't know why it's not working. And then we'll queue for Ulduar. And you'll see what I mean when I say like it's a really neat raid. So, some of the fights I don't mind. And like now it's really trivial because it's time walking. But back in the day when it was at peak, it was some of the fights, especially like the hard... I think it might have been the first raid that introduced hard mode. I could be incorrect, but I think... I'm going to go out on a limb here. I want to say that Ulduar was like the beta of heroic dungeons. I don't know if heroic dungeons or heroic raids existed before then. Maybe they did for Burning Crusade. That'd be crazy to say. I don't think like heroic raids or mythic raids existed before. I think the dungeons did. I don't think the raids did. I think Ulduar had hard mode. And what that meant was if you like did something in the room, it would make the fight a little bit more difficult. It would change the mechanics and you would get better loot or more loot. And I think after that raid, they came out with like a higher difficulty. In the next like generation of raids or whatever, which was then like I think heroic, and then later I think they came out with mythic. But I could be wrong there. But I'm pretty sure because I think it's one of the few raids that has hard mode, which doesn't really exist anymore to my knowledge. Now it's just like, you know, normal mythic heroic or whatever. Okay, let's see if there are Ulduar queues. There's got to be, I'm sure. So for those that don't know, like it's time walking week, which I was excited to see because the week before was Arena and Pet Battle, I think, which to me sort of feels like a skipped week, sort of like a useless week. But so you can run 5 time walking dungeons. Alternatively, you can do, well, you could join a group that skips just the last boss, and that's really short. But if you want to do the whole raid, I think it's worth it, especially because like everything's an upgrade right now. All the gear that you pretty much get is an upgrade at this point. But if you do 4 bosses in the raid instead of doing 4 full dungeons, it counts as the weekly quest. And my cat has a lot to say about that. She loves Ulduar. 4 dungeons is a lot longer than 4 raid bosses, in my opinion. Not to mention, like, the loot off each raid boss is way higher item level than anything the dungeons would drop. I'm just checking to see if we're back online. I think we might be. A little bit of a spotty internet connection. I just want to make sure we're back. That's unfortunate when that happens. Thankfully, though, hopefully when we move, the internet will be more stable. That would be, like, the most ideal thing. This is why, like, I'm so hesitant. So it looks like we're back. So I'm so hesitant to try hardcore WoW. Because, like, imagine that happens. Or, like, hardcore Diablo. Imagine that happens, like, 3 times a day. It's too unpredictable. But we'll try to I thought I signed up for that group, but I'm like, it's weird that it didn't like register, but it was a disconnect. I think that's what it was. So, to be fair, like even with my disconnects, even if hey, Vanilla, it's wonderful to see you. How are you? Even with my disconnects, even if my disconnects were solved, Blizzard still has really bad disconnects, which like they're notorious for. So that's yikes. I'd be afraid to do hardcore anyways for that reason. All right, let's try again. And we're gonna try Red Dead. I tried it a little bit today, and it seemed to work without crashing, but I don't think I tried it for long enough. So we'll do like a test at the end of stream, do like a little bit online, just to see if it's stable and doesn't crash. And of course, I mean, depending how long it is, it might not mean anything, and we might have just gotten lucky. But I guess if we do it here and there and it doesn't crash, I guess that's a sign of stability, and then we can get into the story without it like having to erase half of the hour and a half time we put in before it. Oh, I did not know, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Vanilla. Okay, let's see. Is it under Legacy? I can never remember. I know we found it last time. I just checked, but I think it's under Legacy though. I think it is. Yeah, Ulduar. That's a skip. I don't want the skip. I don't see what the point of skipping is. I know you can just finish the quest, but why not do the whole thing? Because the gear is like everything is pretty much an upgrade at this point. I feel like because it's a new season. I feel like doing this raid, because there's so many bosses in this raid compared to like other time walking raids, I guess. I don't know which other ones there are. Black Temple. I think Ulduar has more bosses, although both have a lot. It's a lot of opportunities at loot. I should have handed in that quest. Oh no, I guess that it is the same week. I guess it is this week. Okay, never mind. Often I'll forget to hand in the weekly, and the week will reset, and I'll hand it in on reset day. So I sort of like wasted that week. Because if I would have just handed it in the day before, I could have like gotten it again the following day. If anyone could follow that, it's probably not. I mean, it's just daily bullshit and daily logic. Oh, if previously your game had lower FPS, it's a good sign. If it's locked at 60, you can disable vertical sync so you can unlock your FPS. Well, I thought it said it capped at like 120 or something, but it mostly stabilized at like 60 for most of the time or something, but I'm not sure. I had the, to be fair, I don't even care like how it looks as long as it doesn't crash. Like, as long as it looks good enough. I don't even need it to look like, you know, I guess like preventing the crashing, I think, is priority number one. Something I did notice that conflicted though is the settings the guy said to put. Some of them were like on ultra and high. Did I not? Oh, I got listed again in the group. I was waiting to get invited. 1 second. I just want to find a full group. There's got to be one here. Come on. Jeez, not a lot of groups right now. One will come up in a second, I'm sure. The gentleman said to put a lot of stuff on ultra and high, and when I did my NVIDIA, like, optimized the game for me, some of it was not on ultra and high, like the guy said. So I didn't know if I ignored what NVIDIA said and did what the guy said, would that not put more strain on it and be more likely to crash? Because if it's not putting it on, if NVIDIA's not putting it on ultra and high, that would lead me to believe that, like, it's not recommending that. Just the, well, I'll have to take a look at what you mean. I thought it was just the graphics. It was a whole bunch. I watched, like, I thought it was like 2-hour videos, but, a lot of settings, a lot of settings. I'll have to check out what else you recommended though, because I may have done other stuff I don't remember at this point. There's so much, and it's been like so spotty in between. I'll have to take a look to confirm exactly what I did, but I think it was just the graphics. Wow, I'm shocked that normally there's so many groups, even at this time. But okay, let's go farm for the mount while we wait, because I feel like any second one will pop up. You guys seem to be good luck. Whenever we farm mounts on stream, they seem to drop, so hopefully. There, full clear. Boom, right there. Can we get in that group? What if we type in old? Maybe we'll be able to see it easier too. There. Skip, skip, full. Skip. They're all... Why does everybody want to skip? This is crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Ulduar, full clear. That one's got no one in it. We have to get into this group. That would be crazy if we don't get into this group. You go from there if it still crashes. Okay, so I haven't really, Sure, there we go. We got into a group. Awesome, awesome. Awesome. Alright, we'll just get teleported there. So in the meantime, we can go over to the mount farming. And then when they queue us, it'll just like teleport us in, sort of like Raid Finder. So I'll have to try to see if it continues to crash. Well, I mean, I'm so desperate to get it to work because I feel like it'll be a fun, like, I don't know what you want to call it, like a arc or whatever, like, you know, like whatever you call it, like encapsulated moment of like a game, like when we played Baldur's Gate or when we played like Nier Automata, whatever that like encapsulated few sessions of streams. Or I thought Red Dead would be like so much fun. So, and it's, I mean, it's when the few times when I tried online, like today when it didn't crash, it's a lot of fun, right? Of course, it's a lot of fun. So, but from what I hear is, and I think I've said this before, is like it's super notorious for crashing. Just even with like really good PCs and stuff, it seems like GTA is not like that, but just Red Dead 2 is, and it's just never been fixed, which is crazy. I can't believe that. For some reason, I have it in my head that like a company, I guess like Rockstar, wouldn't, I guess like allow that. I guess because it seems like such like a stain on like the brand or whatever. It won't crash from now on. It was your graphics, VRAM, not being able to handle. I see. Okay, so we'll see. So we'll test it today and see. You already are on that quest. Yes. So how many people do we have, and how close are we to queuing? Oh, we're gonna queue any second, probably one more person, I would imagine. I wonder how many people you actually need. 25 is what you normally would do it with. But I wonder if you could scale it all the way up to 40. I don't know. If not, that's a full group right there. So we're gonna queue now. Oh, well, we're filling more, so maybe you can do... Can you do a 40-man Ulduar? That'd be amazing. Because I think Wrath of the Lich King, not Wrath of the Lich King, the Ice Crown Citadel, I think was 10-man and 25-man. Well, this is a really fun raid. So there's... I don't know if it was a minor quest, or it was just like lore about the mine. There's the quest, very cool. But, so Serenite ore is an ore from Wrath of the Lich King, the expansion. And there was stories that like miners in the caves, as they were like mining for the ore, the Serenite, they were like losing their minds, killing each other, or like ripping their eyeballs out or something like that. It was something gruesome and crazy. And like the deeper they would go to excavate in the mine, farming the Serenite, the crazier they would go. And they couldn't figure out why. And then it turned out that the old god, Yogg-Saron, was like embedded in the earth or something. And his blood was like infusing this ore. So the ore they were mining was old god infused. So they were the whispers they were hearing and like them going mad. What was them, I guess, getting too close or touching the ore, and the stuff was like too powerful and corrupted. I thought that was a pretty cool story. Like that's this X pack. I thought this was a pretty neat X pack. And Wrath, like I think Wrath is probably one of the most popular X packs of all time. It's not even one of my favorites, but even with me saying that, it's still like a top tier X pack. Clearly, like, the story is incredible. Okay, so this guy's just got to port us. He's got to go to Dalaran. So where is he? I don't know if I go in here if it'll mess it up or not. I don't think it will, but we're already full, so it just takes a second. Rune Weaver Square. Where's Rune Weaver Square? If the name looks familiar. Oh, I think I saw him. Azeroth? Is that him right there? That's not him. Is he in Dalaran already? We're all waiting for our brave leader to queue us. So there's Dalaran. So he's not in Dalaran yet. There you go. Oh, Rhapsody is not our leader. Who's our leader? I thought Rhapsody was our leader. There we go. What a hero. Not all heroes wear capes. There we go. So you will see why there's such a cool dungeon now. Like these fights are wildly different from each other, and it's a really cool, especially before like we knew about this dungeon, when it came out for the first time, you step in it for the first time, it was surreal to see. I still think it's some of the fights are like so unique and cool and creative. A lot of the mechanics now, and I understand there's only so many ways you can make a mechanic, but like generally mechanics are just like the floor is lava, for the most part. So what they did here, I thought was very innovative. Starting with the very first fight, the second you hop in here, like look at all these vehicles. What is all this? But it'll make sense in a sec. I always like taking the bike. I like the bikes. I'll take an Alliance bike because I'm moored. So essentially what happens is everybody hops in a vehicle. They all have different purposes. And this whole fight essentially is done in vehicles. You don't really fight how you traditionally fight in World of Warcraft. And isn't that so cool? So for example, the bikes, what they essentially do is they drop oil, tar, on the floor. So he talks a lot. You drop tar, and the tar can be lit on fire by these ones, I believe, the demolishers. So the bigger guys don't take a ton of damage, I believe. But if you throw the tar in front of them, and they get covered in it, like oil, and then you light them on fire, they take increased damage. That, and we pick up these fuel tanks, and the other trucks around us, the big cars, they require fuel to cast some of their abilities. So what we do is, as the bikes, is we would pick up the fuel tanks, drag them closer to these bigger cars, which are slower moving, and they would just refuel. Sort of like this. That's the fuel tank. So we could quickly zoom around the map, finding fuel tanks that are much further away and bringing them closer, so they could just keep refueling. It's fun. It's a really neat concept, and that's just like right now we're just destroying towers, these towers, so we can then get to the boss. So there's a bunch of mini bosses and stuff, but this whole first fight is like this. And I think it's so unique because I don't remember any other fight in WoW that is this unique. It's a very memorable fight. So see how he's covered in the tar? He looks different than the rest of them, and he has that debuff, tar. So movement speed is reduced, but if you light him on fire, I think he takes increased damage. There's actually an achievement in Ulduar. I don't know if we would get it in this version. It might just be in, like... Right, maybe we would. Maybe we would. If you do this fight and nobody repairs, I'm pretty sure, and you defeat the boss, I'm pretty sure you get an achievement. Because if you lose your vehicle, it respawns. If you lose health, you can repair it. Like, there's these pods you stand on, and it repairs it. But, I'm just going to quickly grab some of these things over here. Whoops. Oh, I kicked you out. Shit. Okay, get back in. Get back. I didn't realize you were in. Get in, get in, get in, get in, you moron. Jesus Christ, brother. I gotta kick you out so I can get these things. Oh my god. Can you hop in something else, buddy? Like, I gotta do the mechanics. This is crazy. There's a guy in my thing. Can you hop in this one? Can you hop in that? Like, bro, I gotta grab these things. There's no more of them yet. Okay. This guy's got a... There. That guy's got one. I put him down. What are you doing? Just get in... What are you doing? Why aren't you guys getting in the vehicles? Okay, you just keep dropping oil, and then you just keep dropping these packages, things around them, essentially. Damaging these guys. The bikes, I think, become more useful on the actual boss fight, because the oil slicks slow down the boss. You have to essentially kite the boss or target someone. And you kite the boss through the oil, and you throw the fire, I believe, down, which increases the damage he takes. Not to mention the bosses, or the ads, or the players need refueling in their tanks. So the bikes... So one of the other tanks shoots down the fuel tanks from helicopters throughout the whole arena as we're fighting the boss. And then we, on the bikes, need to run through the very large boss arena and try to drop them in front of the tanks as they're kiting the boss in real time. Like, it's a really crazy fight. Like, you guys will see in a second, but it's so much multitasking. It feels like so, for lack of a better word, like Mad Maxy. It's really fun. we're taking a little bit more damage than we should, and I think it's because they're targeting the wrong mobs. I think we should be targeting those laser guys, because they do a crazy amount of damage, but we're not. I think this guy's just got way too much health. We're a little bit disorganized. I think if we all coordinated and attacked the same mobs, they'd probably die a lot faster. But we're about to lose our bike, so we're going to go over here and heal. This is a heal right here. Sorry, Vanilla, what'd you say? If you get Yoxeron's head mount, I'll unplug my PC and go to sleep. Oh, I've had it for so long. Man, I farmed that thing so long ago. Oh man, I farmed that thing, Jesus, I don't know how many 100 fucking years ago. As soon as I could solo it. When it was hard to solo, I literally made a monk just because they had Touch of Death, and Touch of Death made it easier to solo. So I literally made a monk to farm for Yogg's head. Farmed it for years. The potato engine made them not try this type of encounter anymore. Oh, that's funny. Okay, that makes sense. So there's our towers that we're supposed to get throughout this entire dungeon, or this like entire fight. And I personally did not go near any of those towers, and I don't believe I saw the group go that way either, because one of the towers is like this way. It looks like it's still up. If I can see it properly, I think it's still up. Another tower is down there. Looks like the mobs are still up, so I don't think so. We're going to be fighting this boss in hard mode. This boss is going to be hurting a lot more and should have more mechanics. So that was sort of dumb, but we'll see how that goes. See? Need side towers before boss. I think we're going to wipe, because this is going to require like flawless mechanics, and we're already sort of like we're struggling here with these ads. I think in order to do this the hard mode way, we would like probably need to be in voice comms. I think this group of randoms would be capable of doing it compared to like the mechanics now.
In the defenses of Ulduar, in a few moments we'll be dropping into. What's that? Be careful, something's headed your way.
Okay. So see how these things are getting shot around? They're shooting them all down. So we're gonna bring these to the to these guys.
Entities detected. Threat assessment protocol active. Primary target engaged. Time minus 30 seconds.
So do you see how he's chasing someone? He's pursuing someone. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get in front of him really quick. We're gonna drop some oil. That's gonna slow him down and it's gonna increase. See how they have pyrite stacking? So I'm gonna drop some of this blue stuff over here. We're gonna run over here. And we're gonna grab more of these. So because this tank shouldn't have to go over here to grab these. So we're gonna bring these sort of more central so they can like take them as they're kiting this boss. Okay, so now he's pursuing someone else, so we gotta slow this down. We're gonna drop some oil so we can get some distance. As long as you scatter them, like there's no like right or wrong place for the most part to put these blue things. As long as they're mostly central and like in the path of people kiting, then you're essentially doing your job. But these guys are smart what they're doing. If they're not being kited, and they're just like they have this like stockpile reserve here, they're just using essentially. We're gonna give this guy one so he can do it. We're gonna get in front of that, and we're gonna drop some oil. But we're doing hard mode right now, so he has way more health. He should have way more health, I believe, because we did not destroy those towers. Okay. Drop some oil. Alright. Okay, we get in front of it again. Oh, someone switched. Okay. There's a lot of damage going out, man. Who is he targeting? Oh, that's gonna reset the boss. That's gonna reset the boss. That person that's over there just reset the boss. That's GG. Unless he dies really quick, I think that's gonna reset the boss. Yeah, the boss reset. He's got full health. Yep. That's it. That's good game, boys. This raid was so buggy from the beginning to the end when it came out. Yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna get back on a bike. Okay, we're gonna get the, now we're gonna kill the towers, right? Are we not killing the towers? Because that was, I'm pretty sure, hard mode. Or am I crazy? Is there no hard mode in time walking? But the positioning of these things, pyrites are really good now. Pretty good. So we'll do this. We'll do a little bit of mop leveling. That'd be fun. And then we'll try Red Dead for the stream ends. See if it crashes on us. We'll do like 1 or 2 missions. See how if it's stable. If not, it's a good sign. So they're shooting down all the pyrite, which is a good idea. What's cool is the person driving is not the same as the person shooting. It's like a warthog. Like right now, even if... Okay, like these ones are not good. These ones are not good.
Hostile entities detected. Threat assessment protocol active. Primary target.
But other than these, the ones scattered throughout the whole area are pretty good. It's pretty good positioning for them. Whoops, I dropped oil bags. Bad oil. Shit. I meant to drop the pyrite, drop the oil like an idiot. Misclick. It's okay, it'll be up in a second. Imagine we wipe because I fuck up that 1 oil. Alright, I can drop it now again in front of this guy. There. Get over here, there's a bunch of tanks, drop some pyrite. Grab some, like on the edges, like no one's probably going to the edges for the most part. So if you just, as long as it's closer to like the middle, somewhere, if in a circular area, they're probably gonna kite in like circles. So as long as it's like roughly, they're in bunches like this. Okay, he's turning around. Whoops. What are you doing, man? You're facing him. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, that was dumb. I don't know why you faced him. That was crazy. But we're getting him now. He's dying, so we're getting him. The set I'm actually wearing, I think, is from Ulduar. Funny enough. So we're done. Is there more pyrite? Or is that just it? I guess there's this stuff, but... See how all the oil's on fire? So if you drag him through that, it helps. Okay, let's get in front of this guy. This. Oh, he just turned around. Damn. Okay, 8 seconds and we can drop more. I always do this too. I don't know how much, if it does anything, if it does any damage. I don't even see numbers when I do this. I don't even know if it works or not. I'm afraid to get too close because he can like one-shot you. There's more pyrite, but it's in the middle. They can grab that. He's almost dead. They got him. Oh, okay. That's... Yeah, they're crushing it. They got him. See how the stack's at 10? You want to try to keep the stacks as high as possible? Generally, we'd have like 3 or 4 stacks at a time. We only have 1.5, which is not ideal. But, that's okay. Good, they're pulling him through this. Let's pull him through here. Yeah, we got him. Look at that. Beautiful. When it's like really, really polished, the run, that look good. We did it. It's not a big deal. Who cares? But like a really well organized raid group would have like probably I would guess 3 or 4 stacks. I would imagine, and he melts so fast. It's like super coordinated. It's crazy to see. This was one of the few raids. Ooh, goggles. That's cool. There's male goggles. What? That's interesting. That's a cool transmog. For not being an engineer, it's cool transmog. This is one of the few raids I did in hard mode, and it was very impressive to see like the coordination required to be able to do that. I remember the Crazy Cat Lady achievement was one of the toughest. I don't think we did all of them. I don't think we did like Yogg Saron, but I remember we did Crazy Cat Lady. I think we wiped on Freya because that was too difficult. But it was cool to see like, you know, like peak coordination. What's this person rolling on? Plate. So this fight is called Razor Gore, is it? Razor Scale. Razor Scale. Now what this fight is he's flying up there. You can't really see him because my camera sucks. That's him. Or her. How the fight works is you keep fighting ads, you keep fighting ads, you keep fighting ads. They're repairing these. We have these... What do you call these? I guess like... They're not cannons. Ballistas? Is that the right word? I'm not too sure. Anyways, they're broken, and you have to keep fighting ads while the dwarves repair them. Once 3 or 4 of them are repaired, you can fire them off one at a time, and it stabs the dragon at the top and pulls them down. When it pulls them down, that initiates phase 2, and that's when you essentially try to nuke it. If you can get its health past a certain point, it breaks free from the chains, and then it's like an enrage phase. You have to just kill it before you die. But if you DPS too slow, you have to reset phase 1, where they repair it again, and then they drag her down again. We are in bear form. I'm an idiot. Jesus. I didn't know that because this is my first fight as a... Oh, fuck. That's so dumb. I hate that this... Oh, it's so annoying. I forgot it doesn't pull you in. I forgot you gotta change your spec manually. Oh, yeah. I'm so not used to this because, like, my druid is the only class I play that really has a tank spec. That's annoying. I would have known that, too, had I not been in a vehicle. My moves are set up so similarly from when I'm in bear spec, but cat form, and, like, cat form and cat spec. Okay, we're in combat the whole time, so I think I'm just fucked for this fight. It doesn't matter. These guys are gonna carry me anyway. The DPS sucks. This is it. So this phase right here, nuke phase. She comes down and you just nuke the shit out of her. She takes yeah, wing buffet, shoots you back. Oh, but they did it. They nuked the shit out of her. Holy hell. Got an upgrade. It's huge. Wow. 645 to 681. It's crazy. That's an insane upgrade. That's a 40 item level upgrade. Like, that's why would you want to skip all these bosses just to get the weekly done? The weekly has a huge reward, but everything in here drops champion gear. Chances are, like, unless you're like fully mythic geared, a lot of this stuff is going to be pretty much an upgrade for, yeah, at least for alts, you know. Said it's a mount, it's a pet. Let her solo me. Huh. Let her solo me is an achievement, and that's a reference to Let Me Solo Her, which is that guy that solos Melania. Like, there's that naked guy, he's got a pot on his head, and he uses, like, Rivers of Blood, and I think, like, Uchikatana or something. And he solos Melania. It's funny. What was he asking? So we need what? You didn't say anything. He didn't link anything. So this is was it Blast Furnace? Ignis, the Furnace Master. So this fight, he picks you up, he throws you in his little furnace. His chest has like a furnace on it, as you can see. This guy sort of looks like an Elden Ring boss, actually. But he picks you up, he throws you in his little furnace. If he does that and you survive, which I think anyone that's like even a little bit geared. I mean in Wrath of Lich King, now everybody's going to survive. These mechanics should not one-shot you now. It's pretty dumbed down. But back in Lich King days, I think if you survived going in the furnace, you got an achievement. If he threw you in and then he threw you back out and you're still alive and you beat the boss, I'm pretty sure you got an achievement. Which someone will probably get today, I would imagine.
Arise, soldiers of the Iron Crucible! The Maker's will!
This is like we're just standing and shit. There's no attempt to even like do any mechanics whatsoever. It's just nuke everything. I didn't know if it would be that idiot proof, but I guess it is. Just funny because from my experience of all the time walking they've done, did we get a pet? Ooh, we got a pet. I found that Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade to be the hardest as far as like scaling. It seems like the scaling on these two seems to be the most I guess aggressive or upscaled. A lot of the other ones, Vanilla and Warlords of Draenor, seem to be a lot squishier, the mobs and the boss fights and the mechanics. But Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade seem to be a lot less forgiving, and some of them, especially the dungeons, have a lot of one-shot mechanics. And I don't know if that's the nature of the expansion itself, or if that's just the scaling of, like, Burning Crusade time walking, but I always thought it was the scaling of the time walking and not the X-Pack itself. Because it always felt like the Lich King dungeons, and then some of the Burning Crusade dungeons were so much harder. You have to respect the mechanics. If you do not, you're going to wipe. And then compared to the other ones, the BFA dungeons, the vanilla dungeons, even this right now, we're ignoring this. Like, I'm shocked at how many mechanics we're ignoring. Because we did Black Temple not long ago, and I think we did it on stream. And I think when we did Black Temple, people ignored mechanics and we kept wiping because they weren't doing the mechanics properly. I thought that happened, but maybe it wasn't on stream, but it definitely did happen to the second boss, the big infernal. Because if you ignore the volcanoes, he's just gonna kill you. I think the most like overshared fact about this fight is like everybody says that this voice supposedly is like one of the developers' kids or something. So this fight is you just pull him, you wait for his heart to come out, his heart just came out, you try to nuke his heart as fast as you can, because this group is a bunch of savages, they did that, so now you fight him, enraged, and then you beat him. Back in the day though, it would be very hard to nuke his heart in one attempt. Normally, his heart would come out, you would attack it, it would go back in his body, you would do phase 1 again to get his heart out. You would do that 2 or 3 times, and then you would do it. If you destroyed his heart on the first attempt like we did here, you get an achievement, which I think everybody that doesn't have it is going to get now. I wonder if it truly is this easy, like, or if we're just with a bunch of animals, and that's why it's just so so simple right now. Because these guys are just they're just crazy, and they're just doing way more DPS than they should. Maybe that's why it's so simple. But it's probably a little bit of both, honestly. I don't have DPS meters, but I imagine some of these people are disgusting what they're pumping out. What's probably going to happen is right before we get to the second last boss, a bunch of people are going to leave. Because they want to save that lockout for themselves so they can then sell the last 2 bosses. So we're moving fairly quick, all things considered. Faster than I thought, which is pretty cool, because it is quite a long dungeon. Antechamber. I think it's always the last one. I thought maybe it's not always the last one. At some point it does change. When it gets to like Mimron, around that area, it's not the last option anymore, because I think running to like Freya is faster or something. The sound these guys make remind me of Nier Automata, which I gotta watch that anime still. Man, as much as I complained about that game, which I did a little bit, like, it doesn't mean I didn't like the experience, that game still sticks with me, like, today. I still think about it from time to time. The game was a... At first, I said it wasn't for me, but I finished it, and after finishing it, like, it sort of felt a little bit like, What's the best way I could, how could I word this? Like, you go on a vacation, and you go on an adventure on that vacation, and you're encapsulated in the moment of that adventure, whatever it is, and then it ends, and then you go back to reality, at home, at your job, with your wife, or whatever it is, and you question, like, did that even really happen? It was so strange, felt a little bit surreal at times. It was just a very bizarre experience, a very unique experience. And that's sort of what the whole experience of Nier felt like, because it was just a very strange video game experience, a strange narrative experience, to the point where, like, as I'm recalling, just the way the game played out, and it had a very weird, fever dreamy kind of feel, and I mean that in a positive way. It was a very strange, like, unique experience compared to like other games I've played. Like a lot of games don't have, I guess, the depth that Nier had. So it left me with more of a what's the word I'm looking for? More of like a feeling of remembrance. I don't know what other word I would use compared to other games. More like a movie would. There's some movies I watch that just, they leave you. You could think there's some movies like that make you just feel different after you see them, and Nier was sort of like that for me. Elden Ring was a very epic, fun journey. It was very rewarding and fun, but it didn't leave me feeling the same way Nier left you feeling. And I don't just mean like hopeless. Just the whole experience, like, it was fascinating. It was the way they involved other players, the way you kept beating it and then like seeing it from another perspective, the way it toyed with, for lack of a better word, your emotions. It was really neat, really cool. And I've heard that supposedly, Jesus, what's the guy's name? Kojima, right? I think Kojima's games are similar, where they sort of like, there's a lot of like depth to them and to the character development. And I've never played Metal Gear Solid or Death Stranding, which I believe I have the first one. I've got it on like Amazon or something. But I've heard it's also a similar kind of experience where like people really get attached to the characters because it's a very deep, richer experience than just playing a game. I think The Irishman is a really good example of like a deeper experience than just like a film, because like there's a lot of like Scorsese films are a lot of fun, but I think The Irishman specifically, where it sort of takes you through his life, you sort of, by the end, at least me, I felt very like just sort of depressed and hopeless, and it was an uncomfortable feeling when the film ended. As I felt with like some other films as well, but and you're like, why would you want to feel that? It's like, well, because it's cool that like, you know, fake characters can make you feel that way, but it's also just brilliant art. But I don't know, it's just some movies like, you know, hit you like that, or TV show endings, I guess too. I guess some TV show endings can hit you like that too. Like I think it's harder to do in video games though, for some reason. I don't know why. For breaking through that barrier, of like connecting to the audience, I think is a lot tougher in video games, and I'm not sure why that is. At least it is for me. But based on the way I see gamers talk about the art of gaming, and compare that to the way people talk about television or movies, it seems like for whatever reason we don't connect as deeply with video game characters as people do, generally speaking. Of course there's always like exceptions, and there are some game characters people like live and die for, but not at the scale of like film and television. And you would say, well, film and television have been around for longer, so like that's why there's just more examples of that. But the rate in which games can be created compared to the rate in which film and television can be created, there's probably way more games at this point than there are film and TV, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry can create a game in their basement with all these new programs that exist. And they're not saying like brilliant games, but once in a while a weird game like what's it called? I keep mixing up Pirate Software's game with the other game that looks like it. Is Undertale the Pirate Software game? Or is the other one? There's another game that looks like Pirate Software's game, and it was like crazy popular. It won like Game of the Year or something, I thought, and like everybody loved it, and it looks like 8-bit, but people went crazy for the story. This is like, it's deep and depressing, and it's about death, and I don't know what the name of the game is, but once in a while a game comes out like that, and it's not like super visually striking. It's like 8-bit, and it's like indie developed. It's like a team of like 6 people and some guy's dog that was working like 16-hour weeks, and it blows the world away, right? So I mean, I think it's a cool thing that the bar to entry for video games is much lower, and not just that, but the average video game user is more accepting of like a little bit of scuffness compared to the average television or film enthusiast. If someone wants to create like a student film, or not even a student film, just a film at home, and it doesn't have the polishness of like something on HBO, I think film enthusiasts, or no, bro, you got a staff. That's crazy. Oh my god, it's such a big upgrade. Look at that. Crazy, dude. Crazy. Wow. 680. We're 662 to 681. Stats aren't insane, but I'll take it. That's awesome. That's an upgrade. And it's a cool transmog. But if you want to make a film, I think in order to be taken seriously, it's a lot harder than if you want to make a video game. And it looks scuffed. Gamers like, screw it. Looks like Vampire Survivors. We'll play it. If you make a film that sort of looks a little bit scuffed or student-made, people are like, this doesn't. I'm not gonna take this serious. It's like a YouTube movie. Like, you know, some of the YouTube productions are higher quality. But it's also, people don't realize, is like some of those YouTube channels that you watch stuff for free, they're sponsored by, you know, Squarespace or whoever else, and that's horrific. That's screaming. But these YouTube channels that are like you watch for free that make really high production stuff are probably spending like at least $20,000, if not more, per YouTube thing they make, because it is like at this point a business. But we think like if it's on YouTube, it can't be high production, but like look at the stuff like Mr. Beast does and stuff, right? Like that's like bigger than some television productions at this point. So I think the idea that like posting on YouTube or posting on the internet is because you can't post on television, get on television or whatever, is sort of something that's becoming an idea of the past. 'Cause that's what it used to be, you know. If you wanted to get your name out there as a singer or anything, you're like, if you're not on MTV, you're not big, you're some idiot on YouTube. But now it seems like the idiots on YouTube are getting calls from MTV to come onto MTV. So I thought that's interesting. So tides are turning a little bit, I guess, for movies and television to be more open-minded to like people starting out without all the resources and giving them an opportunity to try to like tell their stories. What a ramble. I just find it so interesting on Steam. There's so many indie games, and they don't look like really polished, like Gears of War or Red Dead Redemption, like whatever game. People still give them a chance. They still have thousands of downloads. People write nice things. I think it's the same thing with like books. You know, like there's so many books on Amazon that have like less than great covers. The descriptions aren't very good. So there's probably a lot of grammatical errors, but they still have like 300 downloads. They still have like 200 comments. You know, 60 people gave it a star. And I just think it's interesting that people are willing to take a chance on authors they've never heard of, when you can go to Indigo and buy 1 million books off the shelf already. Why take a chance on a nobody? But I think it's a newer generation of people that are more open-minded, which is cool. This guy's going to reset because people are locked out. This is not going to work. Hopefully it'll reset. Hopefully it'll reset before we die. Hey, this ain't gonna work. So we have to do the mechanics for Thorium. Thorium is coming up, and we have to do those mechanics, because if we don't do those mechanics, we are wiping. So right now, we're gonna be frozen soon. We're gonna have to do these mechanics soon. There's gonna be a mountain of snow we're gonna have to stand on, and if we don't stand on that, we're getting our ass frozen. Okay, where's that mountain of snow? That's not right. One of these will drop a mountain. Come on. I'm so paranoid. That's why I'm not DPSing. I don't want to miss it. We may get him. There. Flash freeze. Where's the mountain? Do you stand under the light? Or you stand by the fire? Stand by the fire. I guess. Oh, there's a mountain over there. There's the mountain. I didn't see it. Jesus Christ. Dumbass. There you go. Frozen. So it is what it is. I don't know what the fire's about. Jeez, I couldn't see that. I'm dumb. Okay. But that's what you do. You stand on that mountain, or you get frozen like we got frozen like the morons we are. But they killed it. I cannot believe they did this. That's crazy. I am shocked they survived this fight. That is insane. Good for them. Good for them, man.
I am released from his grasp at last.
Let's see if we get anything. We did hard mode. If we got that, Cache of Winter, that means we did this in hard mode. That's crazy. I'm pretty sure you don't get 2 chests unless you do hard mode. I'm like 90-something% sure that's the case. If anyone in chat knows, you can correct me. Okay, so now I think we're going to do Thorium. I think Thorium is next. Now, Thorium is a really cool fight, because how Thorium works is you sort of have to split up the group. Thorium is going to jump into the main arena. We're going to have to fight him while we fight ads. Or, sorry, not Thorium. We're going to fight ads. Sorry. He's going to stand above us while we fight in the arena. Ads are going to come. Group 2 is going to go down a long corridor and hallway. They're going to make their way to Thorium to essentially push him off the ledge so we could fight him. Once they reach him, they have to go through a set of ads and mechanics and stuff to dodge. Once they reach him, they essentially knock him off the ledge, and we all fight him together. It's a really cool kind of like coordinated fight. It's neat. I think these fights are sick. This guy doesn't have mass res. He just has. That's weird. Why the solo res? I thought the mass res was just like a basic thing most dealers had. Doing it one at a time is crazy. Alright, Thorium time. So we have Thorium, Freya, Mimron, I think, in the last 2 bosses, and that's it. So the last fight, we sort of ignored the mechanics for the most part. I mean, I did fuck up the mechanics, but to be fair, they came out right before the boss died. So you could have... had I not been so paranoid looking for the snow mound that I missed, maybe the DPS I would have contributed might have been enough to just push it over the edge to just completely skip that phase altogether. Who knows? Not that I was doing so much, but he was so close to the end that every little bit would have counted at that point. But this is the fight. So he's up there. That's who we have to fight. We're in this arena. Someone's opening that door right now. Half the group has to run through this gate and run all the way through to get to behind him. You knock him down, while the other half of us stay here fighting ads. Once he gets knocked down, we fight him here, and this group that ran that way just jumps down to join us.
In the mountains. But you, what is this?
Thorin, my lord, why else would these invaders have come into your sanctum but to slay you? They must be stopped.
And the story is all these guys are supposedly good guys. Thorum and Mimron and all these are all like based off Norse gods, I'm pretty sure. But the reason why we're fighting them right now is because they're all corrupted, I think. I think Yogg Saron, who's the final boss here, somehow corrupted their minds and is like driven them to madness. So when we fight them, we're not killing them, we're just sort of freeing them from their chains. And then at the end, when we fight the final boss, the old god, we can say to all the gods that we sort of brought back from the brink of insanity, will you help us fight this old god? And they all give us power-ups to make the fight easier.
I will bring your foes a frigid death.
So they got the achievement for this fight, and what the achievement requires is from the moment you open this gate, I think you have less than 2 minutes to make it to him and knock him down. If you can open that gate within 2 minutes and knock him down, I think you get the achievement. Right? 2 minutes? Force him into the arena before Sif departs. So I think it's like a 2 minute window or something. Maybe 60 seconds. I think it's more than 60 seconds. I think it's 2 minutes or so.
You fiend! You are not my beloved. Be gone!
So that's hard mode, I'm pretty sure.
Behold the hand
I think we got an extra
behind
bonus
all
loot
the
again.
evil that has befallen
These guys are
Ulduar.
savages.
Left my
Crazy
kingdom in
DPS.
ruins, corrupted my brother and slain my wife. And
I'm really
now
excited to
it
try Red Dead
falls
today.
to you
Like today. I really am hopeful that it's going to work.
The task
Like so
before
far so
you
good,
is
it's been
great.
working, so I'm hoping it's going to stay that
I
way.
will lend you my aid as I am able. You must prevail.
So I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but the final boss sort of works with this like a sanity mechanic. And what that means is you have 100 sanity at the start of the fight, and every mechanic you screw up, essentially, just generalizing for us, every mechanic you screw up, you lose a little bit of sanity. And if your sanity goes down to 0, you get mind controlled, and then your team has to kill you. So essentially, the whole raid can get mind controlled and wipe and die. So if you ask these gods that we're saving now for the last fight, can you help us? I think they sort of protect our sanity a bit. But if you fight the final boss without asking for any help, so we save all these bosses, then we fight the final boss, and instead of saying, give us a hand, we say, we're good. We don't want any help at all. We're going to do this the hard way. That's the hard mode of the fight. It's a lot easier to lose your sanity. The mechanics, there's mechanics on top of mechanics on top of mechanics. It's very, very difficult. But if you're able to do it, you get an achievement, and I think one of the coolest mounts in the entire game can drop. But you have to do it the hard mode in order for the mount to drop. Now, if you're not doing this in a raid group like we are, if you're doing this like now, you one-shot everything. You don't have to worry about mechanics. Like if you were to go there at level like, what are we, like 90, 80? If you're playing Dragonflight or The War Within and you go there and you solo this dungeon, you'll be able to solo it no problem. But if you're doing it in a raid like we're doing it, it might give us trouble if we do the hard mode. Even as good as this group is, it requires a ton of coordination, and I don't know if we'll be able to do it. Just like this fight, we're permanently silenced because this fight requires a ton of coordination, and we're sort of all over the place. I believe standing under the mushrooms, I thought silence you. I was under the impression, I thought it was under the mushrooms or something like that silenced you. But we're just... Is standing under shrooms protect you? I thought it's something like that. I know standing under shrooms does something. But they did it anyways. Someone died, but we did it anyways. So how did we not pull... So we did hard mode again. See, there's an ad there. There's a big tree over here. Down here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. If you don't kill those trees and you just kill her like we just did, it's hard mode. So it's amazing. These guys are... They're ignoring so many mechanics. It's incredible. If they ignore Yogg, I'm very impressed. If they can completely kill the last boss on hard mode, get the extra loot, and not even attempt to do the mechanics, I'm super, super impressed. It partially means that it has been nerfed a little bit, but it also means these guys are animals. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Build column B. Like, this has got to be one of the fastest Ulduars I've ever done. That's so funny. These guys are so fast. So I thought this was the coolest fight that we're about to do. And one that, by the way, you can skip all this. No one knows this, but there's a teleport in front of Freya. And if you click it, you can skip past all of this, I believe, and go right to Mimron. I don't think you have to do any of this. Kill these ads. I'm pretty sure it still works. That you could just port right to like in front of the boss, but it's fine. But I thought this was probably one of the coolest parts of the fight. Yeah, so he's saying push the big red shiny button. That's because the big red shiny button... So all the other fights in here up to this point, in order to activate hard mode, you have to do a certain mechanic, or you ignore a certain mechanic, and that's sort of what hard mode is. In this fight specifically, there's a gigantic red button, and it says in caps, do not press big red shiny button. And if you press the big red shiny button, that activates hard mode. And that's pretty fun. But I thought this whole area I thought was the best part of the whole zone. I thought it was really cool how you go in this, like, this Bioshock style train of the future kind of thing, right? And then the boss fight is neat, and the story of Mimron, who's just like the engineer god. Yeah, I just thought it was really cool. I thought this whole coming in here into this thing, then like in real time traveling to him through this like Stargate looking thing. It's really cool. I think it's a really neat experience. And I wish Blizz did more of this because like it just this gives you a little bit of a like, see this, isn't this neat? So you can look at it, so you can look from this perspective or you look from this perspective too. Like you're just like in here and then you're like, I would do this sometimes. You know, I would like just like being on a train. It's like, ooh, cool. Right, you're like moving in something, like your whole team. You and your team are like moving in this giant vehicle through this raid. It's a little thing. It's silly, but it adds to like the coolness of like the raid, right? Instead of just like running from like upstairs to like the next boss, now through the gate to the next boss. You just click the teleporter, it just teleports you from like platform A to platform B. You know. Something about this just feels cooler, feels different. Passing through these big gargantuan hallways, these Titanic-sized hallways, you got these giant, like just these things firing off in the distance. You know, Naxxramas captured the same kind of feeling. When you do Nax, there's just all these like experiments hanging from the wall and these like vials pumping goo into these like half-living beings that are like chained up with hooks. It's just, there's this atmosphere that's just so cool. Oh, someone, I was just about to say, you gotta be careful with the bombs because they one-shot you, and of course someone pulled a bomb in the group. We didn't get one shot, thankfully we got lucky. We're summoning this guy? Are we summoning the Warlock? I love when we summon Warlocks. Oh, that makes me happy. See if this works. See if this toy works. This is a popular toy. Automatic recalibrator. It doesn't seem to work on my druid, but we'll see if it does. You step on this, it transforms you. See? There, I'm a night elf. But what's cool about this is, so I'm a night elf right now. I'm in cat form, I'm still a night elf. It's a cool little toy. So I could keep running over this and switch my race, but I think night elf's pretty cool. We'll do night elf. But if you keep stepping on that, it'll turn you into like every race pretty much. So you can just keep stepping on it until you get the race you want. See, like this guy's, so you got night elf. That's a dwarf. Now I went to like gnome. I love things that let you like mess around with like your race, because then you can sort of see like what would it be like if I was like an undead hunter instead. Especially before some of the classes existed. I remember before there was a toy in Cataclysm that turned you into a gnome for like 15 minutes or something, and I would always use it on my hunter so I could feel like a gnome hunter or a gnome druid. I just thought it was pretty cool.
Barely in debt, moving right along.
Our look right now though is pretty iconic druid. This is like a druid set pretty much, and this right here is an Old War druid set. If we were actually playing in Wrath of the Lich King right now, this is pretty much what we would look like. This set with this weapon,
Behold, the VX
sort of what my druid looked like, if I remember correctly.
personnel assault cannon. You might want to take cover.
Of course, this is a new druid. This isn't my druid from back then. Nolly was my druid from back then, who was a night elf druid, because they didn't have High Mountain Tauren. So this fight, I'm just yapping through this fight. I'm yapping through the whole raid. But this fight is first you fight his bottom half, which is a tank. Then you fight his middle half, which we just fought, which is his body. Now we're gonna fight his top half, which is his head. And then once you defeat his head, all three parts come together like a transformer. And then you have to, and then the melee like attack the body and the base. The range attack the head, and you try to kill them more or less at the same time, I think. I don't think we can reach the head yeah, I can't reach the head, see, as melee. So the range got to do their thing. I can sort of hit him. Maybe am I hitting him with a swipe? Not really. No. Oh, sorta. Once in a while you get him. Guess you got to get him at the right jump. Okay, now he's gonna be put together in all three.
Now comes the true test.
But that's the big red button you're not supposed to press. Do you want to press it? We do get the mount, but if you can trade it with someone.
Gaze upon its magnificence. Bask in its glorious.
We should try delves too. It'd be fun to try a delve, a higher level delve.
I present you with D07 TR negative.
Got nuked. Got nuked, man. I stink at this game. I'm a real stinkeroonie and cheese. Holy moly.
It would appear that I made a slight
Can we please get a mass res? Please. We'll probably res right there, I would imagine, right up there. It's still mass res? You don't have to run, because we're going to have to run back down, otherwise you have to summon us. Thank you for the mass res. Thank you, sir, for the mass res. We might start right up there, but it would still probably be faster to res us and have us just run back with everyone else. So we're still going to have to run back to get the loot. So there's 2 boxes, right? There's 1 box under him, I think. I can't reach. But can I break them apart? Because I'm an engineer? I can. Sick. Is there only 1 box? Did we not do hard mode? Someone didn't hit the big red button. I am disappointed. There. Damn. Let's avoid these. It's running like Sonic. Oh, I hate that you can see my cloak. Let me wear the cloak. I normally don't wear cloaks on characters. Once in a while, but most characters don't. I think the Conservatory of Life is fastest. Other people choose the other guy with the arms. I always just go the Conservatory of Life, but... See, what did I say? He's gonna leave. He's not locked. Dude wants the lockout. He wants the lockout. Which is fine. But people always leave last 2 bosses of time walking raids because they want to sell the lockout. I'm really enjoying delves so far. I mean, this season, so they've been pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to... Jeez. I'm an engineer. Oh, good. Yes, I forgot about this, so I can repair. I forgot it sets you off right at the start. That's amazing. We can sell shit and we can repair.
Farewell, friend of the Grummles.
But we can get rid of our cloak too. That's the most important thing. Let's kill that cloak. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful.
To all friends friends of the
No
Grumbles.
cloak. Sick. And we'll go to Conservatory of Life. But yeah, I'm enjoying the delves so far. They're really, really cool.
Winter will protect you, champions.
I think I would like to try a delve number 9. See if we can push it that far. We did delve 8. I think yesterday off stream. And we did it. It wasn't too hard. I think I did 1 or 2 even yesterday and it wasn't too difficult. So that's pretty cool.
The power of thunder.
Sometimes I feel guilty for doing stuff off stream. So I'm like, it could have been like something fun to watch, but it's like, I feel like other games more so than WoW. I feel like WoW's not like super exciting or groundbreaking. WoW feels more like a chill kind of game where if you... Is someone else resing as well? Someone get it before me? I don't know if someone else was doing it before I was. Yeah, just before me. WoW just feels like sort of whatever you do. It's sort of just like... I mean, I think there's some things that are more exciting, but... I don't know if like a delve is like, oh, we missed a delve 8. That ruined my night. Maybe Mage Tower is exciting, right? Like Green Fire would be exciting. High progression raids would be exciting, but I feel like if you just do one like Mythic or something, it's not. Eh. I'm curious what the Mythics are this season, though, actually. I'd be curious to see, because maybe it'd be fun to do one. It's a good season. City of Echoes, Dawnbreaker, that one stinks. Or maybe it's a Sacred Flame I don't like. I think it's a Dawnbreaker I don't like. Floodgate, Halls of Atonement. Ecodome, that's new. So the Tazavesh, the Veiled Market, is that the old one? Yeah, this is this dungeon. I thought it was this dungeon. I think I liked Halls of Atonement. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I enjoyed this one in Legion. Or not Legion, Jesus. Shadowlands. Shadowlands, I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the Maw shit and Torghast, but man, the dungeons in Shadowlands are pretty fun. They had some pretty good dungeons. I think the dungeons, really, and the zones themselves was a big saving grace of Shadowlands, because at least there was a lot to do. There was a lot of content. Keep in mind, it was disgustingly grindy. A lot of it was tedious, unfun, and felt like clearly it was intended to be filler. But with that said, it was still something. That was not the Maw. So at least you were able to log on and not do the Maw and still feel like you're working towards something, even if it was somewhat unfulfilling. Not saying mounts are unfulfilling, but just the worst offender of what I'm talking about, of feeling super unfulfilling and grindy, is at the very, very end of the X-Pack. There's that new island, Azereth Mortis, I think it is, where you can have the red spider, and you can have the unpainted spider, and you can have the brown spider, and they all have different parts, and they all look identical except for a minor detail. And the parts that drop off a rare that only spawns twice a week, and the chance of it dropping is highly unlikely. So it's RNG on RNG on RNG on RNG on top of a giant grind. And it was just... I still don't have all the mounts. I mostly played this game to farm mounts, and I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to farm a whole bunch of rares that only spawn occasionally, that are only up for a few moments at a time, that have a very low chance to drop an item, that will give me a mount, that requires a whole bunch of other items, that require a whole bunch of other grinds, that when it does drop, it looks similar, but honestly not as good as a mount I already have. So, I mean... And I can show you specifically what I'm talking about, and maybe you guys will be like, that's crazy, that there's so many variations that are almost identical. And then they want you to grind this all.
What horrors await?
Zareth Mortis, we go right here. So, like, these, one after another. You're like, yeah, there's some cool mounts, except... See how, like, they all sort of look alike? Let's type in this one specifically. Vom. Type in Vom. So here's 4 variations. All require the same grind. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how similar they all are? And they're not even very inspiring. These mounts aren't even that cool, in my opinion. The grind for these 4 alone, and there's like 60 mounts. 60 of these, or whatever. It's crazy, the amount. It's a mindless, boring-ass grind. I just don't care. And now compare that to this. This guy that we're about to fight can drop this mount. How much cooler is that? And you get to do a raid with friends. Why would you not do that every time? Why would you do Zereth Mortis when you could just do this? There's so many cool mounts like this that drop out of raids. Why would you waste your time with this grind when there's so many cool things to do in the game? So that's my point.
The time to strike at the head of the beast.
Like, Shadowlands was a little bit more of a grind than I think people signed up for. Are we doing the,
Yes, show them no mercy. Give no pause to your attacks.
On, you moron! Pull the ads onto her! Onto her! You... Oh, these people don't know the fucking mechanics. It's never gonna happen. You need to have the ads blow up on her in order to pull the boss. Or get the boss to come out. She has to die. And then what happens is if you blow her a kiss, right as she goes up, right as Yogg-Saron pops out, you get an achievement.
Yes, yes, show them no mercy. Give no pause to your attacks.
Yep, dead. She's almost dead though. Okay. Good. Okay. Well, we get free loot now. It is what it is. Who cares? Oh, I got battle res. Sick. Let's get out of here before Yogg pops. Okay, I'm in this. Someone's got to free me, or I'm gonna die. Okay, now the mechanic is you have 100 sanity. You cannot look at certain things, or you will go insane. Go in the portal. See how these... So if I face... See how I have the tentacles, the purple tentacles on me? That means that I'm going to lose sanity because I'm looking at something. I have to not look at it. I have to go over here and attack this thing without looking at it because I'm going to lose sanity if I do. So I'm trying to keep my sanity. We all killed our tentacles. Now the brain room opens up. That's the brain. Now we have to run into the brain room and try to nuke the brain before this induce madness caps. So we're doing very little damage right now. So we're going to try to nuke it. Maybe we can nuke it if we're lucky. We might be able to get it. Let's push it, push it, push it, push it. Okay, we did. So what happens is we killed them. So now we're going to pop out, and now we nuke the boss. That was one phase, but normally what would happen is you would do as much damage as you can to the brain before Induce Madness gets off, or the cast gets off. You would jump back out, fight the tentacles, try to not look at stuff to lower your sanity, and wait for the portals to open up again. Every time a portal opens up, you kill the tentacles so you can get to the brain, and you try to kill the brain, which then defeats the boss, essentially. It's a really cool fight. We got another... This was worth it. Look how much loot we got. It's crazy. We got a weapon. Oh, we're replacing tier. We can probably convert that to tier, though, I think. And we're going to get another piece of loot. We're going to get 2 more pieces of loot, because we get a piece of loot for completing 5 time walking dungeons, and we get a piece of loot for completing Ulduar, the raid. We got a lot of loot. That's crazy, dude. LOL, lots of loot. That's crazy. Wow, that's... We're doing Alagon or whatever? Can we do Alagon with this group? Can you even do it? That's the anti-chamber. Can we do it with this group? We're doing a special boss. I don't know if we can do it, though. Algalon. Is that how you say his name? It's this way. People are leaving. Oh, it's this way. It's to the left. I thought it was to the right. Who am I thinking of? Who's this way, then? Who's this guy that's here? If that's... Hold on, let's take a look. Wrath of the Lich King. Those are raids. Those are dungeons, rather. Wrath of the Lich King. Ulduar. Algalon the Observer. I'm pretty sure he's not here. I'm pretty sure he's this way. I don't know where that guy's going. Because I don't see another boss here. And I know there's a boss the other way. I know there's a boss this way, in this room. That's why it shows a boss thing there. Well, I don't think we're doing it. I think everybody's leaving. See, this is how you know this is where Algalon is, because he's like he's the celestial dude, and it's all the celestial signs and stuff. Chamber of the Observer, Algalon the Observer, boom, right there. Well, we definitely don't have enough people to do this, so I don't think it's happening. Unless this group thinks it can do with this ragtag team. Can we really do this? We're gonna have to like nuke it though and kite it. Wow, we're doing it though. But this isn't the boss, it's just an ad. And he's gonna get one shot if he gets hit. Yeah, he's like GG. Man, thank God I'm a miner and an engineer. This place is really good for both. Not that it's really high level stuff, unfortunately, but still. I hate herbalism so much. Like I'm happy to be a miner, but man, I can't stand herbalism. It just feels so much more tedious for whatever reason. It's silly because it's like the same thing, right? But I don't know. I don't know. All right. We got a tank. That's our tank. Let's go. I want to save my cooldowns for this fight. I'm gonna save trinkets and everything. Okay. That's it. That's time for the boss now. Here we go. I don't know if we're gonna be able to with this like ragtag group of kooks, but we'll try. Click this, right? Yeah, I don't think it's available because it's not opening. Normally, the only thing you would click this and it would open it, but I can't even click it, right? Am I missing something? Is something supposed to do? Isn't there a key or something for him, I thought, or... Well, we're gonna have 2 more pieces. Oh, you talked to Bran. I thought there was something else you had to do. Right. Yes. You talk to Bran, he activates the machine thing in the other room. It tells you about Algalon, and then the door should be activated here. Yes, he's correct. Because that's what the other room was for. I couldn't remember what is this other room for. I remember something happening here. I think you talk to Bran. Bran runs in here, tells you the story, brings up the planets, Azeroth, how you fucked your mom, all this kinds of stuff, and then you go back this way, and then you can access it. Yeah, because people are leaving. I think that might be GG. We have 4 people to fight a raid boss. I don't know if that's happening, boys. Yeah, I think that's it. That console thing. That's what I think he's talking about. That's the quest for Algalon right there. Damn, this is the quest right here.
Well met.
Once you locate the entrance for the Celestial Planetarium, which you found it.
You'll find me wherever the action is.
So I would find the Celestial Planetarium, come back, hand it to her, I think, and then we would keep going, or something. I would learn something from the thing I clicked. Okay.
Commencing Watcher Freya status analysis. Commencing Watcher Hodia status analysis. Commencing Watcher Nimaron status analysis.
Okay, we're done. Let's go, boys. That was a hell of a run, boys. That was a hell of a run. Let's go hand in some stuff. We're gonna hand in 2 freaking quests. Get 2 more pieces of gear. We got bracers, we got chests, we got a weapon. Did we get something else on top of that, maybe? I don't even remember. Like, it's nuts. We'll quickly do this run for the mount, though. I think it'd be fun to try. What have we not done it for so far, though? On let's take a look. Oh, did we not do it on this character? We haven't done it at all. Perfect. So we'll just bang it on Mythic, I guess. Oh, we just disconnected. I was in a group. That guy that may have screwed it up. Okay. Let's try again. I forgot I need to leave the group. Alright, let's leave group. Let's pop in here. Hopefully no DC this time. Did we DC again? Whew, I'm so worried. Oh my god. Skip this. We skip it every time. Okay.
Alliance forces have come ashore in the
We could skip right to Jaina, but we don't want Jaina. We want. You have to unfortunately the whole raid up to get to the guy we need to get to, which is the gnomish leader.
Only a handful of gods.
We're gonna be doing everything we can, princess.
Retreat while you can. For
So I
the city.
we streamed. We got to level 11 on our warlock in Mist Pandaria, and I played a very small amount offline. So I think we're in Westfall now. But I didn't want to play too much because I thought it'd be fun to, like, you know, I didn't want to surprise you guys and we log on one day and all of a sudden we're 60 or whatever. So I wanted to try to get most of it, like, while we're streaming. But I did a little bit. So I might fill it here and there from time to time because I think it would be fun to be able to, like, maybe raid once in a while, like Tuka's guild. So I actually sent a message to someone in his guild asking for an invite, but I think they were AFK at the time. I wasn't on for long. So I sent them a message asking for an invite, and then in the time that I was on, they didn't invite, so I had to log. So they might have tried after I already logged, so I'll have to try again, maybe today if I can find someone on. But it seems like they do a lot of raiding. It's from what I've read in the Discord that I joined. For those that don't know, Tuka's a streamer, and he has a guild on, I think, Proudmoore, PvP, which is Mist Pandaria server. And he's like streaming raids and inviting people to join, so I thought it'd be fun to join because, you know, just community WoW shit is fun. It seems like a really chill kind of environment. It's not like a lot of sweaty raiding. It's more like just like a fun kind of community kind of raid. So I thought it'd be cool way to like experience the Mist of Pandaria raids with people that also are just in it just sort of to have fun and not actually trying to, like, you know, min-max. We're just waiting. That's why we're just sitting here, because unfortunately this raid is a lot of roleplay, so you just have to wait for some of the roleplay to get over so you can just keep moving. I timed how long this took during the mount a week or two ago. Maybe it was more than that at this point, but not long ago there was a buff that increased the chances to get mounts. So I was running a lot of these raids on all of my alts, trying to get as many mounts as I could, and I got curious. How much time am I actually investing if I run this raid on 3 different difficulties on 2 different alts? And timing it was roughly about 15 minutes a run, regardless of the difficulty, just because of the RP. But 15 minutes didn't seem too bad to get to the end, so that's all. I don't know. I thought it was some took longer than others. This one was one of the longer ones because of the RP. It's a lot of waiting, man. Like, right now I'm still in combat with these idiots. We'll kill them so we can mount. I'll show you, like, how annoying this dungeon is. I'm not going to use my sprint to kill this guy. Normally I would, but... So we're out of combat. Can I mount? Still can't mount. Still in combat. So screw it. What I was going to say is you'd be like, okay, I'm out of combat, so I can mount through this part. You can mount till you get to, like, around here-ish. Once you get to, like, around here-ish, the mount kicks off anyways. You got to run by foot. And, like, this is all slow and stuns and... Like, thank God you're a druid, because this would be just a nightmare if you're not a druid. Because look, I get slowed. You run through this stuff and you get slowed, but the druid has a trick where if you swap in and out of your forms, if you go from human form to cat form, it doesn't matter. Any form to any form, it frees you from slows or snares. So, like this, we're rooted. So let's get out of the root. Easy. Didn't have to wait 7 seconds. If that was a warlock, I'd have to wait 7 seconds. If it was anything else, I'd have to wait 7 seconds. But as a druid, you just, so... They're definitely, I think, the fastest, them and monks and demon hunters, but I think druids are the fastest, personally. I think monks and demon hunters move faster than druids, maybe, overall. They have more, like, movement abilities that allow them to move through dungeon much faster. But what druids have, and the reason why I think druids are the best at running older dungeons, is because, especially as a feral, I think it works probably the same for Boomkin, but ferals are very fast. Ferals have a lot of natural, passive movement, increasing abilities, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, when I'm running side by side with, like, my fiancé, I'm often a lot faster than she is. And I think it's just because feral druids, it could be all druids, but I think feral druids have movement speed passives where they just run naturally faster. But on top of that, I have this Thrash, which I can cast while moving, and I can do it pretty much forever. I'm like pretty much never run out of it. So I never have to stop to cast while moving. I don't have to generate Fury. The energy keeps piling up. So while maybe a monk might be faster, I find that I'm more energy starved. And while a demon hunter might be faster, I find sometimes I can't kill the mobs instantly because I need to generate Fury to attack them. So sometimes I find myself stopping for a second to generate Fury so I can one-shot them. Versus this guy, I just like, if they don't die, the bleed will kill them. Like you keep going, the bleed should finish him off. And like, I think it's just way faster. Because if that was a demon hunter, I don't have a bleed or something that would finish them off. So I would have to attack them, they'd be chasing me the whole way. This guy, bleed, run, bleed, run. You just keep going. So that's why I think it's faster. But, I mean, maybe monks have secret techs that I don't know about that work better. But I have a monk. I mean, I have like a lot of classes. Hunters are quick as well. A lot of classes are fast, but I find just druids to be the smoothest experience. Maybe a monk can run this in 13 minutes, and my druid only runs it in 15, but the 2-minute difference to me is worth losing the 2 minutes because my brain is completely shut off when I do it like this as a druid. Because I'm just spamming 4, which is like Thrash. I'm not looking back if anything's chasing me because it's going to die from bleeds. On the monk, I often have to backtrack a little bit if something doesn't get killed. Like I don't have like a dot. It's little like weird like in the weeds kind of shit like that at least to me makes the difference. You're like, who even thinks or cares about that? But I guess the majority of the time I spend playing this game is farming like older stuff because I like the cosmetics and the mounts and stuff. So I guess like I said, like when I was running this for this mount and the Jaina mount, this dungeon dropped 2 mounts. We got one of them so far. But when I was running this dungeon for the mount, I was running on looking for raid, on normal, on heroic, and on mythic. That's 4 difficulties per character. And sometimes I was doing upwards of like 5 to 10, if not more characters per week. So I start getting bored, and I'm like, what are ways I could like not just optimize it, but like, what are some like metrics that I could like learn about like what I'm doing? So I would like time it and see like who's faster, what are like things that make this class come ahead of this class. Like hunters, while they're not the fastest, their ability to constantly attack while moving certainly means they never have to stop ever. Like even a monk who never really has to stop when they're attacking, you're still sort of, if you're running too fast, the mobs aren't going to die before you run past them because you're too fast. So you'd have to like sort of slow down your gait as a monk to kill some things. Same with like Demon Hunter I found versus the Hunter. The pet finishes everything off. Just little shit like it's boring. Yeah, it's boring shit, but like it's just I feel like Mythic Plus players and Raiders are the same thing when it comes to like whatever they spend all their time doing, running mythics, killing ads, whatever it is. They're like, oh well, this class is better for this because it can like optimize this. It's like not something anyone thinks about ever, but like in their crazy head, they're like, well, when I'm doing it though, it just feels like a few seconds shorter or a few seconds safer or like whatever it is. So that's why we prefer this over this. You know, it's weird, like fighting game shit. You know, fighting game people are weird like that with like FPS and what do you call it? There's a name for it. I can't remember what it's called, but like frames. I think they're like that with frames. They're like really anal with frames. I'll be right back 1 second though. I got it. Sorry about that. Before stream started, I set a timer on the washer. And I was doing something, and the timer went off, and I said, yeah, I'll finish this and I'll deal with it. And I didn't hit snooze, but I canceled the timer. And it was sitting in there for a lot longer than I'd like to admit. So I just had to quickly deal with it, because I just remembered, for whatever reason, I was talking about something and it reminded me. But, like, I was trying to think of like a movie, like, when I watch, and this is maybe shows how much of a psycho I am, or kook, but when I watch, like, Batman movies, as gritty and as depressing as Gotham is, I always sort of wanted to, like, live there. Like, I don't actually want to live there. I don't want to wake up one morning and be in Gotham. But there's just this coziness to it that I always thought as a kid. I just always loved Batman. So I guess in my stupid brain, I'm like, I don't know, there's like a coziness to like just Gotham City, especially in like Christmas episodes and stuff. I don't know. It's just associated with like being a kid, I guess. So my point is, anytime I watch a Batman film, even The Dark Knight, which is like super gritty, when it ends, I'm always like, damn, like, I got to live in Gotham for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the film is. Or, you know, when you watch a show, half an hour, whatever the game is, 20 hours, whatever it is. When you're playing or you're watching, you're like living in that world. When you're watching Lord of the Rings, you're living in that world for whatever the time is. And when it ends, maybe you guys that like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings can relate to this, because I think this mentality really lends itself to the fantasy genre. When you watch a movie that you're really into, whether it's Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, and you're really into the book or the movie, when you're in it, when you're really in it, you almost feel like you're living in that universe. You almost feel like you're just a fly on the wall, and you're literally like, you've taken a trip, and you're like, you forget about mortgages and pets and your parents and the fact that your kid has AIDS and all these problems, and you just think about elves and Sauron and whatever the hell else is going on. And when you're in there, it's this, and then when it ends, you feel like it feels like ending a vacation. Like when you step off the plane and like reality sets back in, and you're like, fuck, now I gotta go back to work in like 2 days. At least that's what it felt like to me. But I feel like a lot of fantasy readers or fantasy enjoyers recognize that a lot of these shows, what they do really well is they take you on a trip for like an hour or however long the movie is, and you really feel transported there for the time that you're watching it. And when it ends, you get this feeling of like sadness, like, damn. And what are we doing? Why are we standing here, by the way? This is the RP I have to wait for. It's like legit RP I have to wait for. This is all RP. That's why we're waiting. But when the show ends or the movie ends, it's like, damn, like, I want to go back there. It was so much fun to be in that universe, in that world. And even though Lord of the Rings is not a good place to live in, from the safety of a movie theater, it's fun to get transported there for a few hours. But Nier Automata felt like that. That's what this whole ramble was saying. That Nier Automata captured me the same way I think Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings captures a lot of people. The same way Gotham City captured me. Just when I'm watching it, it's one of the few times my brain actually like truly becomes immersed in what I'm consuming, and I'm not thinking about bills. I'm thinking about like I'm there for like the hour that I'm there. And I think fantasy is like the best example of that genre, because it really seems to take you on that adventure, on that journey in your mind that, like, you know, it's like an escape from reality, essentially. I think it's the detail. I think that's what it is, essentially. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna attack now. Cool. But with Nier Automata, when I was there, it's like it was a terrible world. It was super depressing. Humans didn't exist, but there was something like cozy about it. It's like, oh, when it ended, it's like, I'm not gonna see this world anymore. I'm not gonna see these characters anymore. I'm gonna miss them, right? That's how I felt about like Inuyasha. Like, I'm gonna miss these characters, right? They were cool characters. I didn't feel that way about Tony Soprano when Sopranos ended. I didn't feel that way about Breaking Bad. And I didn't feel that way about Marty Byrde in Ozark. I like Ozark, and I like a lot of those shows, Sopranos, The Wire. But when it ended, it felt like I wanted it to end. When The Sopranos finally ended, when Ozark finally ended, when Breaking Bad finally ended, it was so intense that it's like, Jesus, like, what a ride. I'm going to miss the characters, but I'm grateful it's over, because I felt like I couldn't breathe for like the entirety of that show, because it was so on the edge of your seat and intense that when it ended, it's finally, okay, I can take a breath again. We can breathe again. So I don't know. It's interesting, and it's just, I don't know. And I'm just you know, spouting verbal diarrhea, but it's my experience of like these different mediums of like media. Some of these medias, especially the fantasy genre, seem to create such like an atmosphere that you want to, in spite of all the war and craziness that goes on, you still want to like get lost in it a little bit. And I can, to be fair, I'm not making this up. I can prove it to you that I'm not making this up because every fantasy game has cult-like followers that literally recreate maps and recreate like the universe in books and write 3-hour YouTube videos on the lore about like NPCs you've only seen like one time for 15 seconds. And that's because a lot of these fantasy games and genres really connect with people on a much deeper level. Let's see if we get the mount. This is the guy that drops the mount. I think Warhammer is a really good example of that, because Warhammer seems like... Oh, did you get the mount? Oh, I don't think so. Damn. No luck. Alright, let's keep going. Let's see what we got for loot, though. We should get... we're going to go hand in our loot now for running this Ulduar. Damn, that's the mount I wanted to get, but no luck today. No luck today. Let's go hand this in. But, yeah, I just think that... to be able to capture that feeling of... I think Baldur's Gate did it too. I think a lot of people, when they finish Baldur's Gate, they're like, damn, like, I'm gonna miss these guys. I'm gonna miss these characters. I'm gonna miss the world. I don't know. I think... And I pity people that can't feel that. I really do. I really feel bad for people that aren't able to get sad when a show or a book is over, because that means they're just not able to emotionally connect to these characters. And I feel like, as much as you maybe want to make fun of someone for like having that like connection or sensitivity to like art, the truth is your life is just void. Your coolness is your umbrella that like blinds you from like the reality of like the depth that like life has to offer, like the beauty of like art, by like being able to connect with this stuff on a much deeper level and like really feel for these fictional characters. It's just like your palate is just unable to taste the variety of flavors that exist in the literary world. That's sort of how I look at it. That's all, I guess. Because people make fun of these like Marvel kooks for like, and I call them kooks because it is a little bit over the top sometimes, the way they feel so deeply for these Marvel characters. Sometimes it is a little bit over the top. I agree with that. But if I had to pick between being over the top or not feeling anything from like movies or film or music or whatever, I would rather be an over the top person, because these people have like what feels like what looks like a religious experience from these like films, and to be so moved by something, how lucky is that, right? Because some people just don't get moved by anything. People spend their whole lives searching for like something to move them like that, and they never find it, and life just is sort of meaningless in that regard. But if you could get moved so easily by something like Iron Man or whatever, good for you. At least life feels more purposeful. We got it. So we got another upgrade. We replaced a 649 with a 684. That could be upgraded. The 684 can be upgraded. We've gotten so many upgrades today. This was so worth it. Oh my god. This is why you don't skip. This is exactly why you don't skip Ulduar. If you skip, you'd miss out on all this gear. Because we didn't skip, we got bracers, we got a weapon, we got a chest piece, we have a necklace now, and we're still going to hand in one more in Dalaran, I'm pretty sure. And that's going to give us... We should have gone there first, actually. That's going to give us a heroic piece of gear, I think, which is even better. That's going to be the highest item level piece we're going to get now. Out of everything we got, we're about to get something even better now. It just gets better and better. It's crazy. Okay, after this, we'll stop boring you with retail, and we'll start doing some Mists of Pandaria leveling. I think it's Crystal Song Forest. That would make sense to me. The missus was watching a documentary on the Backstreet Boys a little while ago, and I was watching all these girls cry over the Backstreet Boys as they were performing, and they were like gushing and crying, and I'm sure people make fun of them, and I did too, I'm sure. But the truth is like, it must be nice to like be that like moved by something, for it to connect to you that deeply. Like that is nice. Like, I don't know when being emotionally retarded became like cool. But are there new stuff? There's new stuff this year. Oh, there's new mounts. I didn't know there was new mounts. That's crazy. I didn't know there's new stuff this year. That's insane. Oh my god. Whoa. What is that, a one hand? Oh my god, that's sick. Yeah, but there's a point where like being like emotionally retarded was cool for some reason. We're like, you know, shut off your emotions, be the stoic person. But I don't know. I think it's just dumb. I think it's just dumb caveman mentality. That was sort of my point. But look at some of these weapons. They're pretty sick. That's sort of interesting looking. You could do like a kind of like a monster kind of Mog with that, where like you have that, like this. This is what I'm thinking with this. Look, you'd have like this kind of set. This. You'd have something like this, where you'd have like this kind of helm, these kinds of gross shoulders. Maybe you'd have this chest. You have to do the pants. You have to do a lot of this set, I think, for it to work. But then for your hands, let's just cheese it really quick. We'll just use this whole set. You could make it even more unique than this, honestly. But and then you would have this as like one hand for those like you're like a creature like with a claw. This doesn't help with the horns, of course. The horns sort of ruin it. But this would be like one claw, and then your other claw could be like this one. That's held off hand. I can't do a fist weapon. Shit. But like this. So one hand would be that claw. The other hand would be like you could do this, which looks like another claw. But there's another. This one is also an option. Looks like a claw, but there's an actual claw. This one also works. That also works. But there's one. It's a pincer. I'm trying to find this. That with this, with the other weapon, would look like a monster. You'd have like this monster pincer hand. The other hand would be that other claw-looking hand. With this kind of Mog, it would look pretty sick. You could do like an infected kind of creature kind of transmog. So we have to buy these mounts. We don't have a choice. This is a really fucking expensive mount. That is a really fucking expensive mount, but I have to buy it. I don't have a choice. 2 mounts we just bought. Nice. Spectre. That's a mount, right? Oh, it's a pet. I bought a pet. You son of an onion. I thought that was a mount, but that's okay. Ooh, here's another one. Here's another mount we got. Another, this is what we just got. This is the gear we just got. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Hey! We got our actual shoulder pads. So the transmog of these shoulders, see how I have this transmog? We got the actual armor. That's that transmog. So I transmogged it to look like this. This is not what it actually looks like. But the shoulders we got are what it actually looks like. Like, that's sick. That's really cool. So where is it now, though? That's a huge upgrade. So that's breaking our tier. We're breaking our tier set now. But I think it might be worth it at this point. Because I have this tier set, the new tier set. So I bet I can convert some of the stuff to be a 2 set. I'm pretty sure. So right there, that's a huge upgrade. 694 for a 658. I think that's worth breaking tier over. I get almost 1400 agility. I get almost 1400 stamina. 1000 versatility. 800 haste. I think that's worth breaking the tier set for. Wow. And then with no transmog, that's what it looks like. Isn't that so funny? Okay. Enough boringness, enough bullshit, enough rambling. I'll fix this gear shit later. Let's play some Mists of Pandaria, I guess. Oh, I'm launching World of Warcraft Classic. Whoops, gotta change it to Mists of Pandaria Classic. So I was looking, and I didn't realize that I actually have a hunter on one of the original vanilla servers still. I thought it forced all of my characters to go to the like updated versions, but one of my hunters is still on the OG vanilla server. So it would be fun to get Ulduar on him just to do the quest. I don't have a guild, but I'm pretty geared. Like I'm pre-raid bis, not fully pre-raid bis, but I'm getting there. A pre-raid bested slot. So it would be interesting to see if I can get into like a molten core. Maybe we can stream it. I already have the sinew, which is 1/2 of what I need for the special weapon. So the other half I would get from molten core. For those that don't know, hunters have a special weapon in vanilla World of Warcraft. It's actually my favorite weapon in the game. In order to obtain it, the very first step is to kill Onyxia and then kill Major Domo and Molten Core. They're 2 separate raid bosses, 2 separate raids. And if you're lucky enough to get 2 separate drops, you combine them and then do a very difficult quest. We have one of the 2 very difficult drops, which dropped off Onyxia. So I only need to do Molten Core to get this other drop. Yeah, and then we could do the quest and get this really cool looking weapon. So maybe we'll try that. Not today, like, I don't know. If I can get into an MC, maybe I'll stream it. It might just be a random impromptu stream though. Like we might be streaming on a Saturday at like noon, or not streaming. I might be playing on a Saturday at noon, and I log on to see if there are any groups going, and someone's like, need people for Molten Core. So suddenly I just go on Discord and I'm like, hey guys, I know it's like last minute, but we're live because we're doing Molten Core. It might be like that. Because whenever I can find a group, I'll just get a group. Like, I don't plan on playing this character very often, but it would just be cool to have the opportunity to try to do the quest again. I've done it like 4 times already, but I just... there's a few reasons. One reason is, if we ever do play hardcore WoW, I would really like to get as much practice in with this quest as possible. Because if I could get really good at doing it, then if I do play hardcore and I do hit level 60 in hardcore and I get this item, I'll be able to do this quest without dying. I see WoW did not open. Give me 1 sec. OBS is not picking it up. Just 1 sec. Sorry about that. Let's see if this works. Does this work? Does this work? Now it's working. So sorry about that. Now it's working. I don't know what that was all about. That was so strange, but it's working, so we're good. Sorry about that, guys. That's stupid. But yeah, if I could practice this quest on softcore, then at least I sort of have the mechanics down pat. So if we do play a hunter on hardcore, which I probably would if I were to play hardcore, I would probably play a hunter or a rogue. Then I could see it one shot. Like, it's an instant kill mechanic. This quest has instant kill mechanics. So if you do this quest on hardcore, you level to 60, you get raid geared, and then you instantly die to a hunter quest. So you can't make that mistake. Either you get it right or you die, pretty much. There are a few exceptions, but I mean, for the most part, it's either you do it or you don't. Either you do it or you start over. So it would be cool to try to get it down pat. There's like a hunter that anyone that's familiar with WoW knows, like Zeroji. I'm sure you guys know. If you watch WoW, you know Zeroji. He's like, I would argue, one of probably the greatest classic hunters probably of all time. And he's done it so many times on hardcore, this hunter quest, which is incredibly difficult. And he's chatting with chat. He's listening to music. He's answering questions in chat. He's barely paying attention. He's tabbing out while he's doing it, making jokes, talking on Discord. It's like, bro, like the stakes are so high, and he's barely paying attention as he's doing it because he's just so goddamn good at hunter. It's crazy. So my point is, like, if it's possible to do it so nonchalantly, and he doesn't even really do the mechanics, by the way, as he's doing it. Some of them you have to do the mechanics, but a lot of them he just kites them. Like, some of them you're supposed to melee. He doesn't even bother doing it like how you're supposed to do it. He just kites it. It takes longer, but he's just that good at kiting. So my point is, if I could do that, if I could learn how to kite them, because it's safer to do it that way, then that would be ideal for, like, training for heroic. That's sort of my thinking. We go here for this, right? For this quest? Or is it not? Eavesdrop, yep, on thugs. Yep. That's all. Like, there's 2 of them, technically. I should turn the sound on. I didn't realize this one doesn't have sound on. Jesus, we're just winning today, aren't we? Two of the... So you have to kill 4 demons for this hunter quest. And 2 of the demons have to be meleeed. Mostly. It's a lot of melee and ranged attacking. But you could technically just do ranged the whole time. It's just a lot... It's both riskier and not at the same time. Like, what does that mean? What that means is, if you get hit, it's a one-shot. The point of the melee is to apply a debuff to the boss. That's why I think you're supposed to melee the demon. It applies a debuff when you melee. Or something along those lines. Or he does weak melee damage, but he does strong range, or something like that. I don't know what it is. But, So Blizzard sort of incentivizes you to do the mechanics correctly. But you could cheese it by just kiting it, but it comes at the risk of dying fairly quickly.
Need help? Light be with you. Light bless you.
It's what sucks is, like, WoW's not really made for hardcore. Just because some of the quests are just... The game is too buggy, and the quests are some of the quests are just too unforgiving and a little bit glitchy and buggy, and the game's not polished enough, truly, for true, genuine hardcore. At least... And this is, again, this is not my idea. I'm not smart enough to come up with this, but Zeroji, this person we were just talking about, this hunter, that's so good. He came up with a good idea, which is essentially, if hardcore wasn't as punishing, where if you died, at least you could, like, boost another character up to, like, 60. Because having to make a character again, level up to 60, which is a fucking grind, and then grind out all those painful reputations, those painfully low drop rates, those painful quests for getting attuned for Onyxia. It's not like any of it's hard. It's just tedious as fuck. It's super tedious. It's a lot of back and forth. It's go into this dungeon, kill this guy, come back out, hand in the quest, go back into the same dungeon, kill another guy, go back out, hand in the quest, go back into the same dungeon. I'm not exaggerating, like 4 or 5 or maybe 6 times. And in between that, you're having to run out of the dungeon. You're having to fly back to the vendor, go back to the dungeon itself takes like 2 hours. Then the running back and forth process once takes like 20 to 45 minutes. So it's just like super tedious and boring. And doing that multiple times every time your character dies just sort of takes the fun out of hardcore. So if there was just a way to expedite the boring part of it, so you can get back to like the fun part of it, which is like dying and losing. Like dying and losing your gear is still always going to be impactful, even if you can like sort of find a way to push you through the boring leveling process. Because content-wise, I don't think anyone's excited to watch people level in hardcore. I think the exciting part of hardcore WoW, watching hardcore WoW, is the rating and like seeing, is this person going to lose his legendary weapon? Someone recently died with a Thunder Fury, which is one of the rarest weapons in the game. Watching someone raid in hardcore WoW with Thunder Fury is exciting. If that person died and lost their character, and then they were able to resurrect at level 60 again without a Thunder Fury, it would still be as impactful, in my opinion. If I knew after they died with the Thunder Fury, oh, well, they don't have to level from 1. They're already level 60 again when they res. It wouldn't be any less impactful that they died. The fact that someone that had a Thunder Fury no longer has a Thunder Fury is what hurts. The fact that they lost their tier, they lost all the time they invested in that quest, like all that shit. Like, I don't think anybody really thinks about the reputation or like, ooh, this is great. Now we get to watch our favorite streamer level up from 1 to 60 again over the next like 2 weeks. I just don't think that's like what the driving motivating factor is for hardcore, but I could be wrong. And I understand like saying like power leveling to 60 in hardcore is like wow, that sells for so much gold. That's so nice to have at this level. Oh my god. It's anti-hardcore. Like it literally defeats of what hardcore is. But I think Path of Exile and Diablo hardcore makes a little bit more sense because the leveling process is so much shorter by comparison. I think dying while leveling is not the real challenge of hardcore. I think not dying in raids is the real challenge of hardcore. Not dying in mind control mechanics in Strathalome is what makes hardcore interesting. I think if you were to look at like the metrics of like OnlyFans, it wasn't just streamers collaborating that gave them the biggest bump in viewership. I think it was when they were doing stuff that was endgame stuff. I think anytime your favorite streamer was leveling, they probably had less viewers when your favorite streamer was doing like a level 60 dungeon with mind control mechanics or things that were close to one-shot mechanics. I think it's just more exciting to watch that. And I think the fear of losing high-level gear is more of a pull for attention than the idea of just losing and having to re-level. I don't think re-leveling is like what anyone cares or thinks about. And I think the same thing applies to even like Path of Exile or Diablo. I think if you die in Diablo on hardcore, no one says, damn, now they have to re-level. They're just saying, damn, they lost a mythical piece. Or they lost a really good necklace that they were lucky enough to get drop on this character. Like, it's just about the drops. It's not really about the leveling process. So it's just... I think it's why hardcore WoW is so niche. Because I feel like it has a huge opportunity to really, like, sustain a piece of the WoW pie. I think the biggest piece of the WoW pie will always be retail. But I think the hardcore piece of the pie could be a lot bigger if they optimize, like, I guess the repercussions of dying. It's just too high of a bar to entry. It just is. Like, you have to either be perfect at this game and understand all the ins and outs of the quests and all the subtleties of mobs that evade and all the bugged areas and all the areas that you can evade yourself if you jump on if you're about to die. And if you don't know that, there's just no reason to play hardcore WoW. You're going to die level 13 after investing, like, 15 hours, and you're just going to be too disgruntled to try it again. And I know like the hardcore players are like, well, but that then again, it defeats the point of hardcore. But I think you just have to lower the bar. I think in order for hardcore to be appealing to the mass audience and to maintain longevity, the hardcore part has to be in, now that you're 60, try to get as geared as you can and not die. Because that's when the game really starts. Everything up to then is sort of filler. From a hardcore perspective, I mean. But even from a WoW perspective, the leveling is fun. People like leveling. But I think the average person, the average WoW player, I think, truly values the end game the most. Even the casual player, I think. I think the idea of getting your character strong and feeling stronger and feeling a sense of progression and improvement is what people are after. People want shinies. They want things that glow, things that have cool effects. Like, there are some weapons in this game. Weapons look really boring and plain for a long time, and then once in a while, you'll come up across like this. Like here's a really good example. A really good example. Emberstone Staff. Where do we have it? Right here. Right here. This mount. This is one of the first. I said mount. This says staff. This is one of the cool staffs you'll encounter. Most staffs are boring as shit, and they all look like this at the beginning of the game. It's not in order, this thing, but most staffs look like this or like this, and they're very boring. And then you run Dead Mines, and all of a sudden, you see a staff that looks like this. And you're like, whoa, that's like got color to it. It looks different. It doesn't look like... You won't see a lot of this stuff for a long time. It's just boring sticks. So when you see this for the first time in your first dungeon, it's exciting, and you want something that looks like that. So a lot of people roll on this, including people that can't even really benefit from it. People that wouldn't normally roll on stuff with those stats, just because it looks cool and colorful compared to most of the armor we have. So when you get higher in the in dungeons, you start getting all kinds of cool glowy stuff. Look at all the different glowy stuff and the cool colors and the effects. But earlier on, they're sort of boring and plain. So I think people just really like the glowies, right? You want to have armor that like sort of shows off your character a little bit more. Not this boring one-dimensional stuff. This is cool, right? Stuff like that, like that. All this weird stuff. So I think that's really what drives progression in this game. And most games, I think. Is like the cool cosmetic kind of stuff like that. Not just the power spike. We don't have fear on here, so I'm going to have to put fear up here somewhere. I'll put it right here before S1. I'll put fear. And we'll put fear on Shift Q. Fear will be Shift Q. Is it under Options? And Key Bindings? And is it Action Bar 2? Is it Action Bar 3? Yes, it is. And here we'll go Shift Q. And that should be correct. And there it is. Fear is under Shift Q. There you go. Okay, we have to kill boars. This is boring. Okay. Cool. We'll finish like a few quests here, and then we'll try Red Dead before we wrap the stream. Try a quest or two. I keep sending my Voidwalker in, like I'm playing Classic, where you actually control the pets. In Retail and Mists of Pandaria. Ooh, we got our first wand. We don't have a wand. Do we still use wands? We still use wands, right? We must. Do we still use wands in Mists? We don't use wands. Oh, that's annoying. Damn, okay. So we can use wands, but we're not going to use a wand unless we have an offhand. Okay. In Classic, wands used to be like a third compartment, not like it wouldn't replace a weapon. I know I was saying something a second ago, but I got distracted. I don't know what I was saying. It doesn't matter. Just rambling anyways. Okay, we got that. What do we need here now? We need... Oh, Flesh Ripper meat. So we need to kill the birds. We can find where the birds are. There's some birds. We can get Flesh Ripper meat from them. And then we hand in the quest. And that's not a quest. It's done. Guess we may as well go demon form. I like this. Look at that leap. Isn't that leap really cool? You can get around and pull some of these guys easier. I don't know if I've ever played Demonology in Mists, so I thought it'd be fun to try a new spec a little bit, at least for a bit, before we get green fire and then start tearing shit up like that. Ooh, is this guy not attacking? Don't attack. If you don't attack it, I missed it. You son of a bitch. Just because you froze it, you stole it. I don't think she was going to attack it, because I don't think she wanted it, but it kept attacking her, so she froze it. Alright, is there another Flesh Ripper right here? I see, yeah, I saw your shadow. That's how I knew you were around here. Oh, I remember what I was saying. I keep sending my demon in. Like, I manually have to send him in to attack. But in Mists of Pandaria Retail, it's automated now. There's a setting here that just says your pet will assist you whenever you attack. But normally, in Classic, as I was doing right here, I would have it set to passive at all times, because I would play a hunter normally, and I would manually say attack, like I just did, which is control 1. And it's just force of habit, because your pets get into so much mischief. So I learned as a hunter, always keep it on passive, and always manually control it. And it's just easier to prevent your pet from pulling all kinds of stuff it's not supposed to do. So I still do it from time to time, in retail, in this, but I don't have to, but it almost feels like if I'm not doing it, then I feel like I'm missing something. It's almost like, it almost feels like better in the brain, like it clicks, like I almost like want to do it, just because it's like an extra button I get to press. As silly as that sounds. Okay, so we have, this is all done. This whole area of the quest here is done. It's probably going to send us now to Sentinel Hill. And I believe the quest there is like feed the homeless, and there's another one. Kill the gnolls. I believe they're invading, I think. And then I think it sends you to Red Ridge, if my memory serves me correct. But I could be misremembering. We'll see.
Be careful.
Now we do have the Darkmoon Fair buff. Is Darkmoon Fair still up? I think it might be, right? Yeah, it's up until 2 days. So our buff is about to drop off. So we should quickly Hearth, I think. Or we'll fly back. We'll go to Sentinel Hill. And then we'll fly to get our Darkmoon Fair buff, because it's a 10% experience bonus. So I think it's worth getting. Oh, she has another quest for us. Nice. That almost leveled us. Isn't that awesome? Sick. Okay. Oh, it's this quest to kill the harvest golems. Okay. And hope for the people. That's the Sentinel Hill quest. So we'll quickly try to do this golem quest. Even if we don't... Oh, this person's name is Holy. That's funny. Even if we don't hand it in, we can still finish it before the timer runs out. Without having a mount, it's really nice to be able to do that leap. And you can do it once every 10 seconds. Like, that's really, really nice. I think these are the golems we take over. So they're all like overloaded. So you just click one, pop in. And now I just nuke these guys in here. It's easy. Kill them all. Load them up. Kill 25. Westfall's always been one of my favorite zones. Whether it's in Cataclysm, this is the Cataclysm version, but whether it's a Cataclysm version or the original version, I've always just loved Westfall. I thought it was such a fun, such a nostalgic, great zone. Okay, let's keep running through them. So I'd be faster, I think. That's 10 out of 25. Yeah, the standing in place and punching is not as effective as this, I think. This is better. By the way, I did learn that film, I think it's called Weapons, I think it's called. It was, I believe, written and directed by Zach Krieger. I think that's how you say his name, of The Whitest Kids You Know. So that's cool. Because it said, I remember in the trailer, by the director of Barbarian. And I was 99% sure he was the writer and director, not just the director. So I was shocked that it just said director of Barbarian, not the writer of Barbarian. Not writer, director of Barbarian. But it is the same guy, so... I bet this Weapons will be really good. There's a Whitest Kids You Know channel on Twitch where it just plays their skits over and over and over again. And it still holds up, man. It's still so funny. They're so funny. So I'm happy that he's like doing something still, because you know they're excellent. They're all great writers. They're brilliant writers, and you know, improv actors. So I'm just happy that he's still making good art. Good Lord knows we need it. Alright, let's just keep running away from these guys. We're done the quest. We can hand it in. It's cool that we can use this like speed boost to get there, because it's gonna kick us out at some point. But in the meantime, at least we can like get there faster, because we're moving at mount speed right now, 100% speed. Boom! Look at that. Look how much faster we traveled back to the quest. This we handed in, right? Yep. Do we get agony on this on demonology? Does demonology just never have agony? I don't see it. I don't think we ever get agony. That is agony. You want to talk about agony? Demonology not getting agony is agony. Holy. In one level, though, I think we get our first talent tree,
Light bless you.
which is exciting.
For the Alliance.
Nice. Good boots. Big upgrade. You gain some armor for 1 stam. I'll take it. Is this cloak an upgrade? Yep, 2 armor. Let's take it. Alright, we'll go to Sentinel Hill. Hand in this quest really quick. I guess we'll kill this guy really quick. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff here we'd sell as well, actually. So our bags are getting pretty full. Oh, that sucks. Wasn't paying attention. So we're gonna have to kill these gnolls and feed these homeless people that are outside right here. And those are the 2 quests for this zone. But before we do that, because we have 2 minutes on our buff, I think we'll just hand in this quick quest, get the flight path, fly back to Stormwind, get the Darkmoon Fair buff, fly from Goldshire back to Westfall, and then do these quests.
King's honor, friend. Be careful. Go with honor, friend.
Greetings. See you around.
We could sell our stuff, though, here really quick.
Hey there.
We're getting close to our mountain, too. I'm pretty sure the mount is level 20, so we're getting there. I think we need the livers for a later quest. I could be wrong. I'm going to hold on to them for now. I'm pretty sure I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we have to hold on to them. Thought it was like in Westfall or something. There's another quest. So we'll hold on to this for now. Yeah. Oh, didn't mean to sell that. I meant to sell that. Okay. I think that's good for now. Okay, let's quickly hand this in.
Light be with you.
Defense of Westfall. Is there another quest right here? Is there any other quests? I think that's it. The one thing I gotta say, it's pretty good, pretty creative as far as like Westfall goes, is since Cataclysm, the quests in Westfall, the storyline of Westfall is a pretty good story. If you're into like WoW story, I think you should pay attention to Westfall, because it in my opinion, some of the zones sort of fell apart. They're sort of just like one-offs. They don't really make much sense, but the story of Stormwind, the whole human story, leading from Northshire Abbey, the whole way to Goldshire, to Stormwind, to Westfall, to Redridge, I think even to Duskwood, all connects, and it all makes sense, and it's all a really good story. So if you're into story, they did a really, really good job, like sort of interconnecting the human origin story in Cataclysm. Where is the music? Why is it so quiet? Music is enabled. Why can't I hear? I can't hear any of the music. I just hear the sound effects. That's so strange. Let's see if is the music turned down or audio. I hear the music. It's just quiet. Wow. Master volume, music. Music's a lot lower than everything else, really. Let's turn the music up. There. Music's great. I'd rather the music be louder than like the effects, honestly. It's the effects that are like tedious and annoying. The music's fun. WoW music is like peak.
Hello.
Especially when that Stormwind music kicks in, it's crazy. Okay, let's port to the Darkmoon Fair now really quick. There's a... God, I wish I could have the bag organizer. I gotta download the add-ons for the bag organizer. There's a part of Dead Mines, I'm pretty sure. Look how busy it is. See, this, so his server is super busy. My server was dead. So that's why I hate the idea of PvP server, but man, it's a populated server at least, so that's really nice. Look at Stormwind, it's popping. My server was nothing like this. But there's a part of Dead Mines, a dungeon, where I'm pretty sure you can hear Stormwind music. And the reason for that is because the story behind Dead Mines is that the boss of Dead Mines, Van Cleef, was a mason. And he and his people, his mason people, you know, the people that worked for him, they built Stormwind. And I think they never got paid fully for it. And when they asked for their money, they were like cast away as like criminals. So he got resentful. So we became criminals, essentially. He's like, if you're going to treat us like criminals, we'll just become criminals. So that's who the pillagers are outside Dead Mines. And I think the music, when you get to the boss, I think the Stormwind music playing in the background is intentional, and it's like a subtle Easter egg of the fact that he built Stormwind, Van Cleef. So I thought that was a pretty cool Easter egg. Now another one, I don't know if it's a bug or an Easter egg. I think it might be a bug. I'm pretty sure when you go to Molten Core, when you get into Ragnaros's room, which is the final boss of Molten Core, I'm pretty sure it plays Stormwind music in there, which is a raid. And I don't think it has anything to do with Stormwind. I think it's just a bug. Molten Core was a raid, I'm pretty sure. It was the first raid ever, I'm pretty sure. And I think they said they designed it in like 3 days or something. I'm pretty sure it was rushed raid. And they said when they designed it, the whole thing was fleshed out in like 2 or 3 days. So I would guess that they probably put the music there by accident, just as filler. Maybe they meant to put something else, and then it never happened because the game just got released and never got changed. And to this day, I still think it has Stormwind music. But I don't think it's intentional. I think it was just like a bug that never got fixed. I could be wrong, though. Someone wants to correct me. I don't know if retail still plays Stormwind music in Molten Core, but when I did Classic recently and I raided Molten Core, I still heard the music. So the Classic variation still has it, which is pretty cool. Okay. Okay, we have a quest to go to Redridge, and we also have the quest to do the Stormwind stuff. Right? Not the Stormwind, the Sentinel Hill stuff in Westfall. When are these quests green? Redridge, I think we can do later. I think we should do Westfall first. I think we should actually do Captain Sanders' treasure first, because I think that quest is going to turn green on us before anything else does.
How are you?
So we'll fly to Westfall. Can't fly when we're shapeshifted.
See you later.
This character... So I don't know, like... I don't know if this is, like, cheating or not. I have a hunter on another server. And the hunter's level 80, I think. And I was thinking of leveling that hunter just to see what hunters feel like in Mists of Pandaria instead of leveling a brand new character here. I wasn't necessarily going to do it on stream. I mean, I could if you guys want to see that. Otherwise, I would just do it on my own free time, like whenever. But once I level that character, I'm sure I would be able to unlock BOA gear, which gives you experience bonuses. I could use that character to level that character up to 90 way before this Warlock. In my off time. Like, we'll level this Warlock on stream. But when I'm not streaming, I could probably get that other character up to 90. Probably fairly quickly, I would imagine. If I even feel motivated to. Hypothetically. And then I could unlock BOA gear, which I could then give to this character. But then we wouldn't be authentically leveling this character up without the BOA gear. Like, it would be quicker. But my question is, I wonder how much, like, you guys that are watching actually care about the actual leveling process compared to, like, just like, Mists of Pandaria. To me, I feel like the actual excitement begins as you're getting closer to, like, doing the Mists of Pandaria content with everyone. I feel like the leveling process is just, like, a means to an end. Like, within reason. I mean, I don't know about how exciting a boost would be, but I think expediting the leveling process a little bit, I don't know if it would really hurt anything. So we'll see. Okay, we're just killing these gnolls. We gotta kill the gnolls, we have to feed the homeless outside Westfall. We'll kill the gnolls first, I guess. And we'll make our way to... Oh, actually, we're going to... Right. We were going to do this... This was 2 quests down here, actually, but... I'll have to do both. I'll start killing the gnolls. I'll kill the gnolls, make my way out to go to that first quest. I gotta say, I am grateful there's no more soul shards. Man, the soul shards were a little bit tough. As someone that played, like, warlocks, pretty much always, having to... I've played warlocks and hunters pretty much always, and having to have all that extra bag space for your soul shards was a pain in the ass, and having to have that bag space for your arrows. Like, I was used to it, to be fair. Whenever I played any other class, everyone always complained about bag space. But full transparency, because I always played a warlock or hunter, I think I played hunter in classic first before anything else, but when I would play any other class then, and everyone else was complaining about bag space, I'm like, there's so much space! I don't have to use soul shards. I don't have to give up a whole bag for quivers. I don't have to... I get just a whole extra bag. I don't have to worry about bullets or arrows. That's amazing. So that was sort of my perspective, but at the same time, it is a little bit annoying. But I didn't get credit for that because this guy's fucking retarded. Okay. What do we still need to kill here? Oh, the homeless. We need to feed the homeless. Okay, we'll do that after. But not having soul shards is really cool. It's a nice little improvement. A part of me finds it charming. Not the soul shards. Soul shards was annoying. But a part of me found it charming to have arrows. I didn't mind it too much. It wasn't awful. It didn't make or break the game that much. But the soul shards was a little bit tedious. If the soul shards was more like arrows, where like you weren't... Each individual soul shard was a spell. Each individual soul shard was summoning one person. So if you had to summon 40 people, you had to farm 40 soul shards. If it was like, when you get a soul shard, it's like a stack of 10. And then you farm 10 soul shards, you know. So like, it would just be... less punishing, more like arrows, I guess. And I understand that completely goes against what, like, how soul shards work and stuff, but it's just... I don't think people realize how long it takes to farm 40 soul shards, and how quickly 40 soul shards goes. And everybody expects you to summon all the time. And not just that, but, like, you have to show up to raid with your flasks, with all your stuff. You have to be the first one to get there, so you have to farm the soul shards ahead of time. You have to do all the preps everyone else has to do for your raid. Make sure you have all the reputations, the quests done. Make sure you have the attunement done. Make sure you have all your flasks and everything else. On top of that, though, you also have to be there first to summon everybody. On top of that, though, before you have to be there early to summon everyone, you have to spend even more time before that farming soul shards, so when you get there before everyone, you can make sure you have enough shards to summon everyone. And on top of that, you need to farm extra shards, so after you're done farming or summoning 40 people to your raid, you still have enough soul shards that when you're in the raid, you can use them. So you need to manage all those soul shards while still having your potions and your food and your drink, so you're not bothering your mage every 5 minutes for drinks. And on top of summoning 40 people, you need to craft everybody not a soul stone, but a health stone. And a health stone is a soul shard each. So like everything requires soul shards. Everything. So you're farming forever just so other people could have like health stones and stuff and summons and it was a lot more tedious than a hunter with arrows. Like, people don't understand the unsung hero that is the Warlock in raids. And I'm not, like, blowing up my own, This is coming from someone that primarily will pick a hunter every time they play Classic, because I don't want to deal with that. So I'm not the Warlock. I'm not the one summoning, but I appreciate people that do play Warlocks in Classic because of how much, like, effort is required. And they're very valuable to have. Like, who doesn't want a Warlock in their raid? Besides the fact that they have Soulstone, their, like, Curse of Elements and Curse of Recklessness is really, really helpful. Not to mention they pump like it's nobody's business. But mages complain, man, about giving water. It's like, man, you're pressing a button. I don't want to hear it. I've played a mage too. Like, it's just, you guys are morons. Mages complaining about portals and water. It's like, bro, first off, you guys are like the most invincible class in the entire game. You're probably one of the best DPSs in the game. You have more mobility than anybody else in the entire game. You make an absolute killing off of portals. If you can't afford a mount on a mage, by the time you hit 40 or 60, you're just not trying hard enough. And I don't mean to sound like a smartass. Like, literally, once you learn portals, which might be at level 40 maybe, even just like Orgrimmar or whatever it is, stand in the city. That's not the, like, let's say you only have a portal to Orgrimmar, you have nothing else. Stand in Thunderbluff or in Undercity with your Orgrimmar portal and say, selling Orgrimmar portal 1 gold, and just watch Netflix. And I'm not exaggerating, and I know this for a fact because my brother's done it every single time he's ever played Classic WoW. Every time he's played Classic WoW, he's done this. And every time he's been able to afford his mount by just standing in a city selling portals. And he's not doing anything unique. Mages do it all day long. There's more people that want portals than mages willing to give out portals. So if you today decide to level a mage in Classic, if you just stand in a city and sell portals, you can actively, easily make a gold a portal. Easily. Some people will tip a lot more. You'll see how quickly you can get a mount. Like, it's like mages have it pretty easy as far as like survivability, transportation, farming gold, AoE farming, DPS. Mages got it pretty good in Classic. They're probably one of the strongest classes. Their trade-off is that it's boring as shit to play a mage. Their rotation, and this is not an exaggeration, is pretty much spamming Frostbolt. It's just that effective. It's that good. Frostbolt is like, so it's like the rotation is like 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 1 1, and they'll still top DPS meters because mage is just powerful. I'm pressing the wrong ability like an idiot. But they're fun. I mean, if you're into that, they're a lot of fun. But people have called it huntards like forever. Like, hunters need on everything. Everything's hunter loot. Hunters are greedy. And my experience with the game, ooh, we found a rare spawn, is that people shit on hunters, but the truth is warriors and mages are actually the worst offenders. Hunters are the ones that have to do a lot of mechanics. Like, a lot of mechanics. And hunters and mages do as well, to a degree, but at the same time, when you want to talk about, like, hunter loot, everything is warrior loot. Everything is, like, tank prio. Everything. Warriors can use everything, and everything is just good for warriors, especially like tank warriors. Yeah, and then just like mages, just being mages, doing stupid mage shit. Not forgetting to decurse because they want to top the numbers. That happens every time I raid with them, right? So like hunters get this like huntard mentality. Ah, hunters suck. Hunters are dumb. It's like, I don't know, man. I've done a lot of mechanics as a hunter in Classic. Meanwhile, people are yelling at the mages because they're not decursing because they want to top the meters instead, so they're spamming Frostbolt while their whole raid team dies. Are these two rares we're fighting? What's going on? Oh no, the rare is to our left, and this is a quest mob we're fighting to our right. If you find a mage in Classic that's willing to give out water, decurse, and offer portals, you better friend that person, because that's a rare person. Ooh, we got an instant summon. That was sick. Ooh, what did we get? Okay. Soul Leech is probably what we're going to go with. Dark Regeneration is a heal. Harvest Life increases the damage of your Drain Life spell 50% and healing of your Drain Life 150%. But Soul Leech, look at this. Your Shadow Bolt, Soul Fire, Fell Flame, Touch of Chaos grant you and your pet Shadow Shield absorbs 10% of the damage dealt for 15 seconds. Now you're thinking, 10% isn't a lot, and it only lasts for 15 seconds. The thing is you end up doing so much damage so often that the 10% ends up being a big 10%. A very, very generous 10%. To the point where you and your pet essentially become invincible. It's insane. Especially with Destruction. If you have Soul Leech as Destruction, and you're whipping out Chaos Bolts, Immolates, Chaos Bolts, Conflagrates, and you're critting like just an animal, you have such a big barrier, such a big bubble, because 10% of the damage you're dealing, I think, comes back as a barrier. That's my understanding of the talent. And this is my experience from Mists of Pandaria. Standing in rain mechanics and surviving without having to use heals, because the bubble is absorbing the damage. It's that disgusting. It's that broken. Warlocks in Mists of Pandaria are so fun, but broken, like in a good way. Just because like the self-sustainability is crazy. And that's why we're playing a Warlock. It sucks that hit rating is still a thing. Oh, hit rating is so painful. I don't know if hit rating is... Does hit rating exist, for those of you that know, or like that play other games, like MMOs? Does hit rating exist in other MMOs or other RPGs, where like it's a skill where it doesn't contribute to anything other than your ability to not miss? And if you increase past a certain threshold, you went too far. That's where we needed to go. If you increase past a certain threshold, you no longer can miss, more or less. You have like a 0.1% chance to miss the target. It doesn't increase the damage you do. It just decreases your chance to miss. And I've never heard of a stat like that in anything else before other than WoW. And it got removed eventually, which I'm grateful for, because it just felt like sort of like a meaningless stat hit rating. Like everybody had to reach hit cap so you would not miss, because missing is a big no-no. So everybody would just ignore pretty much all your stats until you reach this crazy number, and once you reach that number, then you would sort of start gearing your character. So it just sort of felt like an unnecessary hurdle that didn't really provide much benefit. It was like an invisible benefit, sort of. Like, well, you won't miss now. It's like, yeah, but I don't really want to think about that. Like, it's silly. Okay, okay, should we continue with this and just do this until we end stream, leveling this guy? Or should we try to see if Red Dead Redemption is going to crash on us? Because alternatively, what we can do maybe is we might be able to do like a bonus stream on the weekend or something if I have a little bit of time to try Red Dead, maybe with the fiance. She likes playing it. Maybe I'll play the game with her. We'll do a little bit of group content together online, and maybe I could stream that and see if that will crash. And it might not be a very long stream. It might be an hour or 2 or 3 or whatever. It might not be very long at all. But it'll be a test just to say, let's see if the game crashes while we try Red Dead Redemption. And if it doesn't, then it's a great stream. And if it does, then the whole point of the stream was just to test streaming while playing Red Dead to see if it crashes or not. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. We're sort of moving at a good pace right now. We could just keep this going until like we end stream, or we could shut it down and try Red Dead. So we need to kill this dude, Murkai, right? Is who he asked us to kill? Murkai, but there's something else we need here as well. I can't zoom in, so I can't see because it's just showing me Murkai. Oh, kill the Tide Hunters. Let's kill him. We'll pull Murkai at the same time. We'll pull them both. I wanted to do something special for the birthday stream, but I don't know what to do. That's a week today. I think my birthday's a week today. Is it a week today? I'm pretty sure. Yep. So a week today is my birthday stream. And I am going to be streaming. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what would be exciting, what we could do that's exciting. So I'll have to think about it still. I got a little bit of time, I guess. I've been coming into these streams so hot the past few weeks because like I'm usually like moving shit over to the new apartment before we go live, so I'm just like so hopped up on adrenaline because I'm like lifting all this heavy shit up and down, going up and down flights of stairs. By the time like I usually hop the shower and come right on, and I'm just like, I guess my adrenaline's so like heightened that I'm like, normally I'm already like pretty hyper, but it seems like so much worse now just because I'm struggling to transition from like, you know, the adrenaline of like moving the shit that weighs as much as I do and crushing myself, pretty much trying not to kill myself by getting crushed under a couch, and then just trying to like sit here and like low-key just a game and not have that same adrenaline still pumping. So it's been tough, certainly, because I could tell like my Japanese has been at an all-time high even compared to my normal self. You know, I think that's just what it is. I'm like fueling with like so much coffee in the morning to like get as much like moving done as possible, and but it's taken so long because first off, it's like a slow transition thing. I was lucky enough that I was able to do some of my moves have been like so sudden that I had to like move everything like 2 days. But we have like a little bit of time, thankfully, to move stuff over, which I'm grateful for. So it's like a slow, easy, little bit at a time. It's way less stressful that way. It's the first time I've ever had the opportunity to do this, it's just dumb luck that it happened that way. But I can't move everything in yet. It's like it's going to take a little bit of time, probably in like another month or so, because they still have to work on some stuff. When we moved in, or when we got the place, they had to do some repairs. One of the things was a window being broken, and I actually missed a few streams because I needed to be there to let the gentleman in to fix the window. And as of today, it's still not fixed. I've missed like 2 or 3 streams because the guy kept saying he was going to show up that day. So I sat around an empty apartment with like nothing in it but a bunch of boxes and no internet connection, waiting for this dude to show up, because they give you windows like, well, I'll be here from 3 o'clock December 1st 1963 to 4 p.m. January 15th 2028. Anywhere between that window, that's when I'll show up. They give you like a crazy timeline like that, like a 30-year window of when they're going to show up, and the window man never showed up. I'll tell you, it's a real pain in the glass. We're here all week, folks, but he just never showed up. So like 2 or 3 times I was there waiting like an idiot, waiting for this window guy to show up, and he's a real pain because he's not showing up. He's a window pain. So he still hasn't shown up, so I'm still waiting for him. So supposedly he's going to show up, I think, Saturday, which we're not streaming, thankfully. But I'm going to be so upset if I waste the 3rd day waiting for this guy to show up to fix the window. And he kept saying he's going to repair like a crack. And it's like, how do you repair a crack in a window? Don't you just replace the whole window? He said, no, we'll repair it. It's like, I don't think you can repair it. I don't know. Can you repair a crack in a window? I feel like you can't. I think I just got to replace it. Anyways, repair. He said he's going to repair it, and now he's saying, I'm just going to replace the whole window. So I don't know if that's why he didn't come. He was like trying to like see how he could repair it, and then I guess he realized like you can't repair a cracked window. You just got to replace the window. I don't know. We need one more Murloc. It's not this big guy that's walking. We just need one more to spawn, and then we're good. Oh, right there. Oh, that's not the right one we need. We'll kill him, hoping the other one will spawn. We need the other one to spawn. But it's like, what is it? Is it the ship of Ulysses? Is that how you say it? It's like, if you have the ship of Ulysses, whoever you say his name, and it's the original ship, but the ship is very rotted and broken down. So you replace one piece of wood, but you keep the rest of the original ship. It's still the old ship, right? It's still the old ship, except for just one piece of small wood. Okay, but then we replace the handle. The handle's also broken, so we'll replace the handle. So it's the old ship, except for one piece of floorboard and one handle, right? And then you see where this is going. Okay, but then we replace one more floorboard. Okay, then we replace the staff, or whatever it's called, the mast, whatever it's called. At what point is it no longer the old ship, and is it now a new ship? That's essentially the question. And like, this is a boring question, but like, if replacing the glass on a broken window is not a new window, it's just repairing it, when is it a new window, I guess? Because that to me is a new window. It's not repairing it. If you're replacing the pane or the glass on a window, that's not replacing. It's not repairing it. That's just a new window. So I wonder if it was a difference of communication. And he just meant he's replacing it the whole time, but I don't think he meant that. I don't think he was replacing it the whole time. I think he tried to find a way to repair it, like, without replacing the whole pane, and that's why it took so long. And he kept just, like, canceling. It's like, I haven't figured it out yet. I could be wrong. That's my tinfoil hat theory. Lots of people come up with conspiracy theories about aliens and, you know, Jeffrey Epstein and the moon landing was fake and, you know, is my mom really loved me? But my conspiracy theories are more like, is the bagel guy using less salt? Because these bagels tasted different than last week. Is he using a new kind? Is he not using kosher salt? Is he using table salt? Is that what the difference is? Is he using a different kind of yeast? And no one tells me that, but I just, like, it's just weird things. I'll just go to, like, McDonald's. I'm like, the coffee tastes different. Is it, like, someone new making the coffee? Those are my conspiracy theories. The most boring conspiracy theories in the world. Alright. So we have this one. We can go in the middle here. Kill the oozes in the chasm. We also have that quest for the chest. So I think if we do this quest, we have to go back here to hand it in. So we can go here. We can pick up this chest, which I think finishes this quest, I'm pretty sure. Then we can do this one. We can run back here, hand it in. And then I think this part of the map and this whole part, it should be done, I think. So we'll, like, this will be annoying to go here and run back, but at least it'll be done. And then this part is done. We'll finish this part of the quest, which will send us to Moonbrook, which we can then wrap up this part, and then the whole zone should be done. And then I think we can just go to Red Ridge. I'm trying just to optimize the questing, because otherwise it'll be like, if we follow the way the quests are telling us to go right now, this is not an exaggeration, it'll say, right now we have a quest, go to Red Ridge, we'll go to Red Ridge, we'll have a few quests in Red Ridge, it'll say go back to Westfall, we'll do some quests in Westfall, it'll say go to Stormwind, and we'll be bouncing back and forth from Red Ridge to Stormwind to Westfall. That's sort of what it's like in Classic, and it's still sort of like that in Mists, but you could hold on to some quests so they sort of group up together instead of just bouncing from A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. You can sort of spend more time here, get a few quests here, then go to Red Ridge, get a few quests there, and then instead of running back and forth, I think you can sort of batch hand in some quests in Westfall, in Red Ridge, in Stormwind. It's, if that makes sense. Otherwise, it's like I would literally get this quest, which would tell me to go to Stormwind. Then it would send me to Westfall, and then I have to go back. Like, it would be such a waste of flying. I'd spend so much time flying unnecessarily. So I'd rather hold on to a quest or two, and it might turn green in the meantime, while I'm handing in other quests. But I'd rather just not waste, like, the time traveling. Because with that amount, it's painful. Even with the flight paths, it still takes a while. That's cool. They turn into you, huh? So they turn into whatever they're fighting. So the one guy was fighting me, so he turned into me, and this guy's fighting my Voidwalker, so he turned into the Voidwalker. I've probably mentioned this on stream many times, and I'll mention it again. I had a friend that, he's my moderator, Kelf. But Kelf has spent so much time with me and my Warlock that he literally remembered the name of my Voidwalker was Kilcius. And he would always ask, where's Kilcius? We need Kilcius whenever we would wipe on stuff. But if I was playing on my Druid, this is years later. I'm talking, he would, like, remember my demon's name from Mists of Pandaria. So, like, 5 years later, we're playing in, like, Shadowlands or whatever X-Pack was out at the time. And I'm playing, like, a Druid or a Rogue, and we're dying. And he would just say out of nowhere, man, we need Kilcius. Where's Kilcius? It's like, how do you remember my demon from, like, 5 years ago? And to this day, as of, like, August 14th or whatever it is, 2025, he will still bring up Kilcius to this day. He still remembers the name of my demon. It's the most amazing thing to me that I guess we just played together enough for long enough that it's so insignificant. Rogue Bonker class?
Rogue kept Bonkers class.
Yeah, Rogue's fun as fuck. I love Rogue. Oh, yeah. Okay, so... Oh, we didn't finish that. It's over there now? I thought we were done. Yuck. Look at this. We gotta run this way. Then we gotta run this way. Then we gotta go this way. Just when I thought we were out of the vanilla running. They pull me back in. I'm too afraid of dead air that I just fill it with too much like Michigas and rambling and nonsense. I got to be more comfortable with dead air. But the truth is like, I watch so many streams that are just like pure dead air, and it feels like so bad that I feel like what's worse, like dead air or no dead air? But they almost both seem bad, so I don't know. It's a nervous habit. It's not just like a streaming thing, honestly. Like I think I just need to fill the void. I'm so fidgety that like if I don't fill the void with talking or something, then it just feels like uncomfortable, I guess. I don't know, dude. Just press and lean back. Yeah, correct. Oh, that's what I've been doing this whole time. Like, my hands are off my keyboard. This whole time I've been chatting. The reason why I've been... God damn it, I've fallen into this twice now. The reason why I've been chatting like an idiot the whole time is because there's so much running and mists that I'm just, like, autopiloting it. Like, the whole time I've been auto-running, pretty much. The whole time I've been doing these quests, I've been auto-running. I fidget so much that I had a fidget spinner. I've gone through 2 or 3 fidget spinners. People have gifted them to me because I'm always fidgeting with my hands, and I've literally broken them because I've spanned them. I would spin them so much that like they would just give out from like everything has a limited lifespan. Everything. There's a certain number of times you'll use a pan, a certain number of times a phone will turn on. Everything has a lifespan, and I guess a fidget spinner has a certain number of rotations before it breaks, and it could be a lot. It could be like 50 million. It could be a lot because it goes fast, right? But at some point, it will reach that point where it tips and breaks the scales, right? And that has happened with every fidget spinner I've ever owned. And I had one that I really liked and I was really sad about. And that was it was a Batarang. It looked like a Batman Batarang. And that was so much fun. And I used that thing everywhere. And it broke and I was so devastated. What do you think about the McDonald's dilemma? What's the McDonald's dilemma? What happened with McDonald's? Oh, Vanilla's coming in with the breaking news. This is the wrong area. This is not where we need to be. Where's the ship that we need to be at then? What is it? It's not this. I'm not in the right area. It's down more. Oh, it's that island over there. Okay, island in the sun. Hip, hip. Oh, you typed about it. I'm sorry. I didn't see you type. Oh my god, I see it right there. Dude, I missed that. I'm sorry. Give me 1 sec. I don't know how I missed that. I'm not paying attention. That's how I missed that. I'm just yapping about nothing. We're just going to kill these guys really quick, and then I'm just going to... I just want to die. 1 sec. If McDonald's advises customers to consume the product in 2 hours max after they receive their hamburgers, why are they still tasting good after 1 day? That's true. Well, I mean, I didn't know they said 2 hours after. And they're still good after 1 day. Why do they advertise otherwise? Okay. So, there's 2 things there. I think the reason why they give a 2-hour window is because, like, the Food Drug Administration or whatever, I'm pretty sure, said after the 2-hour mark, bacteria starts to grow on, like, food at room temperature or something. So McDonald's advising you to eat it within 2 hours, I think, is their way of getting off the hook if you, like, die of, like, salmonella or, like, some kind of, like, rare AIDS that now exists because hamburgers sit out for too long, generate some kind of, like, rare insta-death AIDS. They're like, well, we told you to eat it within 2 hours. You can't blame us. Like, just like all other foods, you have, like, 2 hours to eat it. So don't blame us because we recommend you eat it within 2 hours. That's why I would recommend they say that. That's why I would suggest they say that. I don't know why McDonald's puts so many preservatives in their foods that it goes, like, doesn't mold. I don't know what the point of that is. I don't understand, like, if your business model is to serve it fresh anyways, I don't know why it needs to look good 30. We just got gloves at level 15. We didn't have gloves before level 15. That's crazy. I don't understand their business model in that regard. I never understood that. I would imagine, I mean, it hasn't hurt them, but I imagine it should hurt them. You would think if people are like, ew, this stuff doesn't rot. What the fuck? What are we putting in our bodies? But if anything, it's only helped sales, it seems like. That's cold. Yeah, you know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, I don't know if it's helped sales. I don't know if, like, people saying, wow, McDonald's doesn't degrade has helped sales. But it hasn't hurt sales. Hi, honey. I don't know what the purpose is. I don't know why McDonald's, it's so important for their food not to degrade. I don't know the justification, because when they send it, it's frozen. I never understood that. I don't know. I remember it was like Barbara Walters or something, or one of those like shows. They gave like McDonald's to like a science lab, and they did the test where they're like, this is what happens to a normal hamburger after, and then they test the McDonald's, and they're like, yeah, it does take a long time, or it just never gets moldy. It never develops that bacteria layer that like turns other foods moldy. It just gets hard. So it is true. They did test that theory. This was a long time ago though. Maybe now the formulas have changed, and like maybe the stuff they used back then is no longer legal. I'm not sure. Not to mention what's allowed in Europe and other parts of the world is different than what's allowed in the United States. I could be wrong, but I would argue that probably like the States probably has one of the lower thresholds for what's like legally allowed in food. But I would probably argue that probably like China or India is probably lower as far as like, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But I know that there's a lot of issues with contamination as far as supplements coming from China and India, like cross-contamination. You have to be careful with, especially if you're like a lot of UFC fighters will buy supplements from like China or other countries that's not tested as rigorously as it is in like some other countries, and they'll pee hot for like steroids or something when they never even took steroids, but it's usually because the quality control for supplements in other countries is not as rigorously tested. Now, to be fair, that could be American supplements. I'm not saying... what I'm saying is there's an American brand. We'll call it like Nolly Supplements. And I get my supplements from China. And when the supplements are sold to me from China, the supplements are maybe in a barrel that had a previous supplement in it. And the barrels are not cleaned in between. And I personally, as a supplement seller in America, I am not hiring a laboratory to test every batch of supplements that I sell to people. I don't have to. Legally, I don't have to. So if I sell you a supplement and you're a UFC fighter and you pee and it comes up positive for steroids, you can blame me, but legally I don't have to test it to sell you those supplements. Like there's certain laws that I can like skirt to get around. So I don't know like if that applies to food as well or not, or if it's just like a supplement thing. I'm not sure. But I've heard of also like recently, hopefully we don't die here because we pulled a lot of Murlocs. Hopefully we move fastest. I think it was Shen, or however you say it, that clothing brand in Canada. It's a brand from China, I believe, and I think they had a very large recall because I thought children's clothes had lead in them, and that seems to happen from time to time. So I was under the impression that like at least exports from China, they export at a lower quality of like what's legally allowed in some of our countries, so you have to be careful. And my friend also told me the last example of this is when you buy electronics from Amazon, they don't always pass certification for like electrical standards in Canada. So if your house burns down because you used a light bulb from like a Chinese company in Amazon, your insurance may not cover it because it was not a light bulb that was like certified for use in Canada. So that's something you have to be careful of. That I never knew either. That was told to me by a friend. So, and I believe this friend is a credible friend, so I believe it to be true. That makes sense. I never think about stuff like that. Oh, here, you wrote some stuff, sorry. If you let your chicken at room temperature for one day after you home cooked it, the next day it would be stinking. Oh, it'd be horrible. It'd be horrible. Yeah, it's gross. Europe has the most strict rules when it comes to fast food. Yeah, I believe that. I think the recipes are just different according to each region of the world, to the point where you are right below the legal line. Oh, wow. So even in Europe, McDonald's is still dog shit, huh? Like, I always assumed they would use lower quality ingredients, but I assumed in places like Europe, where they have, like, I thought Europe had the highest standards. I think Europe and Canada are close, but I think Europe is definitely the highest by a long shot. I thought in order to appease the European government or whatever their standards are, McDonald's would have to use, like, somewhat real food. I don't believe, though, there's a one-to-one that the food not degrading and the food being so bad for you is what makes it taste so good. I feel like you can make the food taste really good still and be really addictive and not have to be made with these like chemicals that don't rot after 6 months. I don't think it's those preservative chemicals that are making it taste good. I feel like it's just sodium and fat. Like I've mentioned this many times, it's better in terms of healthiness in Europe. Yeah, fair. I can imagine that. The American McDonald's tastes the best. It's definitely the worst for you, but it tastes very different from Canadian McDonald's. I haven't had McDonald's in a long time either, honestly. It's been a really long time. We got a bigger bag. That's nice. Oh yeah, it tastes way better. Way better. The taste of fast food in general in America is way better because they have way more additives. 100%. Oh, absolutely. My brother was recently... Well, I recently missed... Or did I miss it? I don't think I missed a stream, but I had a funeral recently, so I was late for a stream, unfortunately. My uncle passed away very unexpectedly. And he lived in Philadelphia, the United States. And my brother asked me actually to go with him, very short notice, to go to Philadelphia, and I couldn't do it because of other obligations. But he went to the States to go to the funeral, and I attended online. That's why I missed stream, I think. But when he was in the States, I asked him... He asked me, like, do you want me to bring you some stuff back from the States that you can't get in Canada? They have a lot of like stuff there because there's a lot of additives and shit. And one of the things they have specifically from Pennsylvania, here's a secret. Hershey's chocolate comes from Hershey, Pennsylvania. The reason why it's called Hershey's is because there's a place, Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's where the actual original factory is. Chocolate in Pennsylvania, or Hershey's chocolate is the best shit in the world, man. I'm telling you, it's so goddamn good. If you go to Pennsylvania or anywhere in the States, get Hershey's chocolate syrup. It tastes better. We have Hershey's syrup here in Canada. It's a different formula. I'm telling you, it tastes different. I'm telling you, they have like cancer-causing additives that like make the frogs gay. They turn your kids into liberals. Whatever it is, whatever they're putting in, whatever kind of Alex Jones chemicals they're putting into the chocolate sauce in the United States. Get it? It tastes better. I don't care if I become a unicorn and a liberal and I'm watching Fox News. It tastes better. I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances with whatever killed Steve Jobs if I could eat whatever the food is over there. It tastes really good. So it does. I could see why, like, you know, the Americans fall victim to their food. It does taste better. My brother brought back Tasty Cakes, which is like an American stuff you can't get here in Canada, and these donuts, which I don't eat donuts normally. I don't eat donuts, but I grew up on it because my dad's from Philadelphia. So whenever I would visit, I would like enjoy for a few weeks the American foods, and I'd go back to Canada and go back to my normal eating routine. But as much as I do like it, it usually gets rotten because I can't finish it all. Like, my brother will bring back a box of donuts, and I'll eat like 2 or 3 of them. It's like a box of like 8 or whatever, and like by the second or third one, I don't mean like eating 2 or 3 in a day. I mean like after like 2 or 3 days, I've eaten like a donut a day, and by like the 3rd or 4th day, I'm like, all right, I don't want any more. I'm over it. It's lost its excitement, and the box just gets like moldy or whatever. So as much as I get excited for it, because I can't have it very often, but I cap out pretty quick. Like I can't eat it very regularly. But I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so there's that too. The sugar levels in every sweet you find in America are way too high. Oh, for sure. That's why, like, this RFK dude, who I don't know a whole lot about, I'm not politically involved at all, he says a lot of crazy shit. But one of the things that he said is that, like, the American diet is dog shit. And a lot of what he says is probably batshit insane. I don't disagree with that. But you at least have to recognize that he is correct when he says that, like, the way we're eating in America is messed up. Nowhere else in the world is eating like that. And he's absolutely right about that. And, like, you know, I'm sure, like, even, you know, Joseph Stalin and Hitler probably said something right at some point in their life, too. So, like, we have this mentality that if someone's, like, an idiot or says stupid things, like, everything they say is across the board is stupid. But I'm sure even, like, horrible people at some point have a good idea. So I don't know a whole lot about this RFK guy, but I know one thing that he went on and on about is, like, the diet. I don't know what his replacement answer is. Maybe his replacement diet is just as bad. I don't know. But he's one of the first people I saw in politics, at least to my knowledge, that is actually spoken about, other than Michelle Obama, about the American diet, which seems to be a big issue with like health issues in the United States. I know it is because like I have family members that are dealing with it because of the diet. I think before Michelle Obama, I don't know. What was it, like Reagan's wife, maybe? I don't know. I know Michelle Obama was really
What can I do for you?
fighting for like getting kids in schools to like have proper nutritional lunches and understand like nutrition. I think exercise was like a big thing with her, which is like that's beautiful, right? It's beautiful to try to get kids healthy at a young age. Like every politician, he's trying to gather the smarter side of the country in hopes that he'll get votes. Politicians say a lot of stuff and usually believe less than 10% of what they say. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, politics in America is crazy. I just thought it was strange that, like, he was one of the first people that I saw that actually brought up, like, the diet. Like, diet's a big part of America, you'd think, right? Like, not even telling people how to eat or how they shouldn't eat. That's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the American people deserve government organizations that question why some things are in some of their foods. The people themselves shouldn't even have to think about it. They should just be able to trust that their government is going to these organizations and saying, does this need to be in here? Will it still be safe if this thing that we know makes people sick is no longer in there? The average American shouldn't even have to think about that. They should just be able to, in a perfect world, you should be able to trust that your government is collecting your tax money because they're protecting you from these things, right? In like drugs and food, but I think they've sort of failed on that front. I mean, Canada has too, let's be real, right? I think a lot of our generation and the next generations are becoming very aware and doing their own research in regards to like nutrition and the long-term effects of foods and drugs and drinking, and you know, it seems like we're more health conscious now, independently than we've ever have been. People are like taking the time to learn about their physical, their mental health, nutrition, their diet, exercise, probably more than any generation has in previous history, I would argue. Like the younger generations especially, I would say, which is just a good sign. I think it's a good sign. So what did we come here for? The Darkmoon Fair buff, but there was something else too, I thought. Was it just the Darkmoon Fair buff? Do we have a quest in Stormwind? Oh, this is in Lok Modan. I thought this was in Stormwind because it said Stormwind. I gotta go to Lok Modan for this. That's pretty far. I don't know if it's worth it. We'll just probably get the buff then. We'll get the Darkmoon buff. Since they voted a president that buried his wife in his golf yard, then registered the golf yard as a private cemetery to not pay taxes to that huge yard. Is that true? I didn't know that was a thing. That's crazy. Are you talking about Donald Trump did that? I didn't know he had a wife that passed away. Damn, I just sort of feel bad for that. Like, that whole thing is messed up, but anytime someone has a wife that passes away, or a significant other that passes away, it's sort of depressing. You know, I sort of feel bad. Okay, but that's crazy. It's a crazy story. I saw that a case someone used is that the color of the Fruit Loops in the United States has all kinds of dyes in it, and in Canada we have like fruit or carrot that like dyes it colors. We just use like fruit and vegetables as our dyes instead of using like chemical dyes or whatever, which supposedly are related to like hormonal issues amongst other issues as well. And I think the Fruit Loop example was one that a lot of people sided with, saying like, yeah, why can't we just do what Europe is doing? If Europe and Canada already have a recipe that is already proven to be healthier, why can't we just do that too? And I think that really opened up a lot of people's eyes. To be fair, I feel like if you're eating Fruit Loops in the morning as your main breakfast anyways, I don't know how much damage the dyes are really doing to your body if you're eating that much sugar every morning anyways. Not that removing the dyes would hurt. Of course it would help, but I feel like there's a bigger underlying issue. And I'm not judging you by what you eat in the morning. Eat what you want. Like, I love pancakes in the morning, but I certainly recognize that I feel better when I eat something that's like a little bit cleaner in the morning, as far as energy goes, compared to like when I eat like one of my favorite breakfasts in the morning. And I'm lactose intolerant, so this ruins my whole day. But one of my favorite breakfasts is like black coffee, iced coffee, hot coffee, doesn't matter. Black coffee, like chocolate chip pancakes, and turkey bacon. Which is like just garbage. It's a little bit of protein from the bacon, but it's like, bro, it's pure salt. It's just sodium. It's not good for you. And then like just chocolate chip like as if pancakes aren't dessert enough. It's just a cake. You're eating a cake for breakfast. Adding chocolate chips to dessert for breakfast already is insanity. Like, it's the worst thing you could eat, but it's a fun breakfast. But when I eat it, it's like, man, I'm so lethargic compared to like, you know, peanut butter oatmeal and blueberries in the morning, which is what I normally eat. So I could feel it. So you get this just the sluggishness that I notice when you eat like sugar in the morning. At least me personally. It just doesn't like burn as clean as like other stuff does, I find. Following a fall in her Manhattan home at age 73. Oh, it's horrible. It's very sad. According to New Jersey State Tax Code, any land used for cemeteries is exempt from all taxes, including real estate taxes. Choose property for this resident. Interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Wow, Vanilla. That's so cool. The New Jersey law, New Jersey State Tax Code, any land used for cemeteries is exempt from all taxes, including real estate. Cemetery are excluded from paying business taxes, sales taxes, income taxes, inheritance taxes on the land. I wonder if that has anything to do with mobsters. It sounds silly. I know it sounds really silly, but New Jersey, to my knowledge, is one of the bigger central hubs for like organized crime, or it used to be. And I wonder if, and we know that organized crime has always had they've had their tendrils deeply rooted in politics, right? Organized crime has always been very like hand in hand with politics. So I wonder if when these laws were enacted, if it's because there was like a strong organized crime presence, and something organized crime always did was they always worked with funeral homes, or they've owned funeral homes, or morgues, or places that like burn bodies, because obviously you need to get rid of evidence. So I'm just curious if like New Jersey, which always had a very strong connection to politics and organized crime, maybe was incentivized to create tax breaks for businesses related to disposing of bodies. Just saying. Chose this property for his final resting place as his favorite property. The Washington Post replied, it could be no relation, but New Jersey just always had a reputation for being like a little bit in the pocket of some of these wise guys. So I wouldn't put it past them that like these wise guys pretty much ran the state for a long time. They might still, right? Like even New York is the same thing. Like, you know, it's the same thing as far as like special treatment goes. Staten Island being one of the worst offenders, and no one really has a problem with it. Like, it's always been like that, right? Like, keeps the streets clean. You know, it's just how it is. I think it's an East. I don't know if it's a West Coast thing. I think it might just be an East Coast thing, but it's always been like that. It's always been like that. I think Chicago's probably the same way, right? I know like Toronto and Montreal's always had like a presence of like organized criminals. But the thing is, it's not like The Wire where like they're shooting each other in the street. There's like there's a respect for civilians. Civilian casualties are taken very seriously, and it's not something that you ever try to have happen because it makes everybody's job harder, including the organized criminals on both sides, including the cops. It seems like everybody knows the game of cat and mouse, and as long as everybody respects the boundaries of civilians, everybody tries their best to try to get away with what they can, so as long as innocent people aren't hurt. And that's something you can't get too mad at it, I guess. When you operate like that, right? When you're like, if you're not part of the business, you don't involve people that aren't part of the business. That you can't really get mad at people for wanting to operate under those confines. Speaking about organized crime, of course, I mean. Because, like, you sort of know, at least in Toronto, you can tell, like, these places are, like, they seem like they're owned by, like, you know, those kinds of guys. And it's open to the public, and I've been to many of these pizzerias and these places, and they're fabulous. And it's funny, is the cops even hang out there, because, like, everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows. It is what it is, right? The places that all the wise guys hang out at, the cops also hang out at. The cops are, like, friends with them. It's, this is what I would see, at least, growing up in, like, you know, Toronto. There was this one joint that everybody knew, like, was owned by, like, you know, these guys, and it was a brilliant pizza place. It was so good, and the cops were always there, and the guy was such a character. I'm not exaggerating. He was right out of The Sopranos, like, literally. He was a pizza shop owner. He reminded me actually a lot of the cook. If you've watched The Sopranos, there was a cook in the show that all the gangsters went to. They liked him. Artie, I think his name was Artie. I could be wrong. But this cook reminded me of Artie, because this guy wasn't directly involved with them, but they all hung out at his shop, and he sort of wanted to hang out with them. And you could tell, like, he wanted to be buddies with them, and they, at least from my perspective, they would hang out at his place. They loved his place, but they never really brought him in as much as I think he wanted to be brought in. I think they just used his establishment as a place to just hang out and eat, and but he always tried to, like, connect with them. And it always, to me, it always appeared like the younger brother that wants to hang out with, like, the older brothers. And the older brother's like, we'll take you along, but, like, you're never really part of, like, the clique quite in the same way. It always felt like that. And I think maybe he was never part of this organization with them, or they never brought him in because he honestly seemed like a nice guy. And maybe they're like, you have a family, you don't need to be a part of this. That would be my guess. But I don't know. I'm speculating, of course. But I always thought it was an interesting dynamic, because everybody knew what was going on there. Everybody knew, like, who would hang out there, who ran the joint. But families would still go. My family would still go. Like, everybody was respectful to each other. But I would always think, like, because I watched The Sopranos, I'm like, these guys are the real deal. It's weird to be sitting, like, next to these dudes, knowing, like, what their business is. But they're not a threat to you, because, like, you're not in business with them. They're just, like, you know, they operate on the battlefield. That is their battlefield. And then when they're not operating on the battlefield, they're just humans. They're just people. It's so strange. It's always been so strange to me. But like, you know, I've always loved The Sopranos. And something that always gave me such anxiety with that show is that the people that choose this lifestyle, and they all know this, or they all know this, right? It's a risk. It comes with a big reward, which is, like, the lifestyle of the rich, the power, the money, the wealth. But there's always, like, people that want to, like, usurp you and, like, try to, like, take your position or undercut you and throw you under the bus so they could, like, replace you, essentially. So you're sort of always looking over your shoulder. And that's sort of what, like, Tony Soprano lived, right? He was, every time anyone would come into a restaurant, anytime someone would get out of a car, you'd always have to, like, check, like, is this, like, an attempt on my life? And what a anxious way to live. Holy moly! When I would watch The Sopranos, and, like, once I watched the whole series the first time, I always knew what was going to happen. Once you already know what's going to happen, but the first time you watch it, you never know, like, is someone going to, like, attempt something on, like, Tony or one of the other characters? Anytime they're in a public spot, like, someone could just, it could be like a rival, right? And even when you're with your family, like, it's so scary. It's such a scary way to live the rest of your life, looking over your shoulders, because, like, that's, like, the life you chose, essentially. You're, like, living in the 21st century, but at the same time, you're sort of, like, living almost like sort of like you know, like how, like, ancient Greeks lived, right? Like, you have, like, a nemesis, and, like, can that nemesis, like, poison you at any time when you least expect it because they're trying to usurp you? That's sort of what it's like, right? To, you know, in a sense. Okay, friends. I think we should call it here. We didn't play Red Dead. I'm very sorry about that. We will try it. We got a lot of WoW in though. WoW was fun, right? We did like 3 hours and change. Talked about absolutely nothing, but it's fun. I enjoy the WoW streams. We are gonna get Red Dead fixed though. It seems like for the most part things are moving in the right direction. So the directionless streams will come to an end. Not that I have a problem with playing WoW on stream, but I just think that audience-wise, first off, when I'm playing something that has more direction than WoW, I say less stupid shit and I yap less. Because I'm yapping way too much when we play this game, let's be honest. I think the conversation's better when we're more on track. And we actually get to play a game versus just like talking about absolutely nothing, playing WoW. So I think that certainly helps too. But I think it's more entertaining when we play other games that are not WoW. As much as I love WoW. I think I just gotta get better at the conversation if we decide to keep playing WoW regularly. But I do want to explore other games. That's mainly where I'm going with this, is like, I want Red Dead to work because I want to play Red Dead. I have something lined up for Halloween, which is exciting. I'm just trying to think in the future for like pillars. Like, what are like bigger events that are coming up that like would sort of like match like genres of games we could play. So like Halloween is like, okay, horror. That's why like you're like, Halloween's so far away, why are you thinking about that? It's just Halloween's a horror month, so like horror games fit the bill for like Halloween streams. But I'm just thinking about like other fun events and stuff we can do, you know. But if you guys ever have any ideas, I'm always open. I know I said I was calling the stream. Join the Discord if you want to join. Follow on Twitch if you're not following. Like on YouTube if you're on YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel if you want to check us out. You're welcome to join the Discord. And we have horror stories if you want to check out the horror stories. If you want to support the channel without actually like listening or watching any of them, just let it play in the background. Just click the horror story links. Let them play in the background. Don't even listen to it. Put it on mute, but it still helps the channel grow. So if you want to help us, I would sincerely appreciate it, but there's never pressure. Right, trying RDR2 tonight, or that's for another day. We might try tonight. If she wants to play tonight, I'll probably throw on stream. If I'm going to play it anyways, I may as well stream it, because I want to test it while OBS is running. Because OBS uses a little bit of power for the computer. So I need to like essentially simulate my stream while I'm playing the game to see if I could get it to not crash. Because if I get it not crashing while I'm not streaming, it still doesn't resolve the issue. I need to like pretty much be streaming while I'm playing it and it not crashing. So it's good for like actual stream. So if I do play it tonight, then we'll probably do a bonus stream. Otherwise, maybe it'll be tomorrow. But whenever we do play it, we'll probably just do a bonus stream. Just to test the technology, honestly. Yes, because we're sending data to 2 platforms at once. Love to see you play some horror games, like Outlast. Yeah, well, check it out. There's a horror game I really want to play, which I haven't gotten yet, but I'd really, really like to try it. Maybe you know the name of it. It's not a lot of playing the game. It's like Saw, I think. It's a narrative game, and my understanding is you walk a little bit, and then you encounter like a hallway, and it's like, do you go down the left corridor or the right corridor? And then you like see your friend. You see your 2 friends in a trap, and it's like, free this friend, free that friend, and the friend you free sort of opens up another path. And the whole game is like a little bit of walking, option A or option B, and you keep picking the different options, and like you're killing your friends along the way, trying to save friends. I don't know the name of this game, but it looks really good. Yeah, I can find the name of it. Is it Until Dawn? Is that something? Is that the game that you just said? You said Outlast. Maybe it's Until Dawn. Oh, you said wait for it. Okay. Okay, I'll wait. So I was gonna post. I'll post it anyways in Discord for you guys to see. But that would be a lot of fun to play, like in Halloween. So if it goes on sale or if the finances align, maybe that's something else we can play on October. That'd be a lot of fun to play. Because like there are horror games that look like jump scary, but they don't look like atmospherically scary. Resident Evil 7 had some jump scares, but what I really liked about it was like how it had this like atmospheric scariness to it. Just existing, the whole world felt scary, not just the moments of the jump scares. That's the kind of horror that I really like. I think jump scares are a little bit cheesy and like boring. and they just don't have the same excitement as like a well-designed scary level. Now, if the goal is just to see me get startled, I'll jump every time at a jump scare. So if that's just what you want to do, we can just play a game with a jump scare, and I'll jump every single time. I get startled very easily. If a pen were to drop off this desk as I'm sitting here, I would jump at that. My fiance the other day came in my room, put her hand on my shoulder, and I jumped like 6 feet in the air. Happens every day. I jump at anything. So it's not about like, I'll get startled by a picture of a cute bunny if it jump scares you. That's just how it is. It doesn't have to be a scary face. But if what we're going for is actually like quality horror, I feel like there's some actually good, like, strong narrative horrors with strong, like, atmospheric horror tones. That's like much deeper and much richer of an experience than just like, scary. Dead Space seems a bit like an atmospheric kind of horror game. The Resident Evil games feel like that. There was another one I saw too, Scorn, I think it's called. I've not played it, but it looks like a pretty atmospheric kind of horror game. Just waiting to see what game Vanilla brings up before I call the stream. I've played a lot of horror games, and I've been told, like my whole life I've been told, like if you jump, or if you get startled enough times, like eventually, like you lose that, like the muscle becomes like more resistant to getting startled, but it's never gone away from me. I've always been startled. I always get startled very easily. I'm just a very anxious person, so I just startle at everything. Unrelated to horror, like sneezing. Jesus Christ. The amount of times the fiance sneezed in the other room and I've jumped because she's fucking sneezed. That's my life. Full transparency. Got a bigger bag, so that's nice. Oh, The Quarry. Okay, we're gonna end stream with a quick trailer, ladies and gentlemen. The Quarry. Ooh, another game that I really want to play because I've heard good things, but I've not Googled it. I've not Googled it, but heard amazing things. Is Alan Wake. Alan Wake supposedly is absolutely incredible. I'm excited to try that game out as well one time. But we're going to quickly bring up this trailer for you guys to see. Just a sec. Right here. Okay, hopefully that works. Looks like it works. Excellent. Let's watch this trailer. Hopefully you can hear it. And then we'll call the stream. This is a game that Vanilla recommended called The Quarry. You guys can hear it, right?
Yeah, Hackett's Quarry forever!
I just want to get you guys safely out of Dodge before the sun.
How do I get these bars? The bars aren't going away. That sucks.
Damn it! I thought I told you kids to check everything.
Look, it's not that big of a deal, okay? We'll just spend one more night here.
No! No! Just stop. Let me think. Okay. Make sure that everybody is inside the lodge for tonight. Lock the doors. No one in, no one out.
Typical slasher setup, right? Bunch of young kids stranded in the middle of nowhere in an abandoned cabin in a creepy woods.
Out in the woods, and we end up in a most dangerous game situation.
Like when people hunt other people?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Camp is over, and hunting season has just begun.
I did see a weird light in the treehouse across the lake. That was pretty spooky. Maybe it's your girlfriend, Ryan.
The heck of heck, it's Quarry.
Did you hear that? Should we look?
This has like 80s horror movie vibes. This game.
And why does everyone blame everything on bears? Okay.
You got anything better? I mean, like zombies, aliens.
The voice acting seems very, very like real, very genuine.
Ryan?
Hey! Run!
We ain't playing games no more, little girl.
There's something coming!
1, 2, lost, Max, we're lost. 3!
Terrified kids are bad for business.
You have to cut it off! Cut it off!
I can't tell if it's monsters or if it's people.
Just ease up on the ghost stories.
Is that who I think it is? Is that a...
Kumbaya next
Yeah,
week.
that's him. Oh my god.
You guys don't do Kumbaya anymore?
Arquette? David Arquette? Is that David Arquette? David Arquette. See? I don't know any of these people. Wow, there's a lot of actors in it. I recognize David Arquette. That's crazy. Wow, that's interesting. That's not the game I was talking about. That's really, really cool, though. What an interesting idea that is, man, huh? Shit. Thank you for that recommendation, Vanilla. Wow, boys. That's, so the quarry is one we're gonna have to look at. That's very, very neat. Man, Vanilla is always bringing the hits. Vanilla with the bangers every time, man. That's sick. Wow. We got a, it's messaging about TwitchCon and shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, friends, that was a lot of fun. Okay, so we might have a bonus stream, where we try to play Red Dead. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Could we try raiding someone just to be nice? Would that be okay? There's like 4 people here. Could we just do a nice gesture and then we can all leave even after we raid? Could we just try? I've never raided anyone. I don't know who's on, but let's see. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely play. Have you played it, Vanilla? Have you played the quarry before? Oh, you've not played it. Ooh. Okay. So that would be fun to do on stream then. So I'll have to look. At some horror games. Yeah, that'd be sick. Okay, let's we'll raid a Stepoon, who's a WoW player. He's a really nice guy. Thank you guys for today. Today was a blast. I'll see you guys soon. Next stream is Sunday. If not before, join the Discord, and we'll play hopefully Red Dead Redemption next, if not WoW. Have a wonderful night, guys. Thanks again. We're just going to quickly make sure the raid goes through really quick. I think the raid went through. Let's see. Cool. Hopefully it worked. Oh. There we go. Cool. Have a nice night, guys.